We're live.
Hello,
We have
everybody.
faces.
We live.
All right. Tabletop Appreciation Day, Extra Life. We're doing our third game of the day for the Live from the Apocalypse stream. We've been doing this for 12 hours. And some people have been doing that entire time. So, you know, like,
for the kids.
Yeah, for the children.
Massive.
We are about to embark on a randomly generated dungeon, and by that I mean in creating this monster that we are about to tackle, we rolled on a wheel for what class each of the players would be playing. In some cases, twice. The maps were randomly generated. The monsters that they were going to be encountering, we both rolled for like what kind. They didn't know that, but they did it anyway. And then also which ones would be coming out. We're gonna roll for the loot that they're finding when they manage to hit and kill something. And we'll be coming up with also some like random puzzles were put in there. Some of those were kind of crap, so I will be honest, I didn't completely randomize that one. There was a bar, and it was not. So
I randomized to a degree. Like there were things in the randomizer that popped up, and I just said no.
If you were clotheslining yourself trying to cross that bar with the puzzle, it was that set that low, you probably aren't going through.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, there's a baseline intelligence for our players as well as our attributes here, and like below a 7, just like so we have. Sorry, Brendan, go ahead.
I was going to say, look, some of us randomly rolled a lizard folk courtier. I don't know what you're talking about.
It's going to be delightful. We also rolled for how the characters are connected to one another. They had a like range of how connected they are as a party. Everything from they are meeting for the first time as they enter this to that they've been adventuring together for like the entirety of their careers. That's the one they rolled. It's in my head, it's a little bit like the Chipmunk Adventure, and I kind of hope that those of you who have, you know, I'm showing my age, but like if you can like follow along with me there, like, you know, please imagine, if you would, the Chipettes, and you're like 90% of the way to where we are personality wise. As I just described it, this is the macaroni art of dungeons, in that there's glitter glue, there's dried pasta, there's some construction paper, felt, ribbon, and all of it has come together in a way that vaguely suggests something, but we're going to hang it on that Christmas tree for 20 years and no one will question. It's going to go on the bottom.
We're so excited. Oh my God.
Of the Christmas tree, like with the other stuff that can't really break, and like if it, you know, but it's there. And like it's one of the first things you put on every year. Mom's going to cry a couple of times. Empty nester syndrome hits hard. But
you got the clothespin nutcracker soldier. You've got
the clothespin reindeer that you made the year after. That's only slightly more complicated.
Yep. You got the hot glue gun snowflakes.
Yeah.
Oh, dang. Yeah.
Didn't we all
some
have
people's
those?
like elementary school Christmas ornaments were a little bit more complex than others, but yeah.
I can just continue to describe the things in my mom's closet.
Oh, when I'm like, I am definitely describing a piece of macaroni art that goes on our Christmas tree, or you know, however you want to. But yes, I'm not even 100% certain if it's mine or my sister's. So, but that's this dungeon, and hopefully you'll enjoy the chaos as much as we do in this run. To include with that, the maps are randomly generated, but we have 3 levels that theoretically we will be visiting. We'll see how we go with time, etc. Maybe the last level is just completely clear of every danger. I don't know. But the players are going to get to see this map. I'm going to describe for you, if you are listening, watching, what you're seeing, and hopefully give a little bit of a clue as to exactly how the layout goes. But there are no secret rooms right now because of technology, which is fine because there are no secrets from us to you. That's where we are right now. Yes, so our players have the first level map. We're going to give a little bit of background as to like the loose plot line that sets all this up, and then we're going to jump into seeing how we go. I'm going to let every player give us like the elevator speech version of who they are. So be ready for that. And ladies and gents, and we're going to start then with what's going on. Players, do I have questions on any of the crap that I just said while we're okay? All right, great. So take a breath, take a long drink. Let's okay. So the backstory that we also rolled for this. Now, I came up with a few of them. I had a secret roll that happened, and then gave us a little bit of a structure to what's going on. So, if you'll bear with me here. All right, we're about to venture into the catacombs under the cliffside city of Adamont. They were once the lair of a protective, powerful adult gold dragon that was abandoned the dungeon generations ago. Stories were fueled from legend, rumor, and time, and they don't agree on why the dragon no longer resides in this cliffside habitat. But the catacombs are still being used to some extent by the people of the city. The lower castes of people who deal with human remains hike down to the front rooms of the catacombs and along the cliff edges, where vultures help to deal with the bodies of the dead. But they are fearful and hugely superstitious of the things that emerge from the deeper caverns and the rooms that they don't venture into anymore. The careful stacking and design and art of the skeletal remains has not been attended to in years, and the splendor of the catacombs has been unseen to most. About once every 5 years, the city will offer aid and funds for brave volunteers to clear the lair for the hopeful return of Rowanth, the Gracious. Many turn back, some have abandoned their mission and leave with only the supplies they were given, and some never appear again. You have the mayor of the city, is a mountain dwarf. He has a name that I generated. His name is Balvarig Windrock, and the Guild of Wizards, which is the Order of the Dagger and the Scepter, also randomly rolled, gather helpful items at the small and sad good luck ceremony that greets you before you enter the or before you head down the cliff face to the dungeons, into the catacombs, because they will not follow you down there. So there's like a couple of ribbons strung along, like just some like wooden dowels that somebody had in the garage. They're going to present you with the things that they think might be helpful as you're about to take on this. But like, since it has not been successful in generations, the like level of hope and festivity surrounding this ceremony is about what you expect for like the opening of a bank. You know, like there's scissors. Someone will cut one of these ribbons. They'll wish you luck. You'll get a handshake. But you know, the actual hope that resides in completing your task has diminished through the years. Yeah. So there will be a little ceremony where they will gift you with some supplies for you to head down the cliff's edge. So you are well prepared for this. You've been hanging out at the inn for days. You've been in the city for a while. You knew at least some of the supplies that you need to bring with you, and you've gathered your courage and your party in order to go. So you have, you know, your packs are stuffed full of. Nobody's going to run out of rations unless you get stuck down there for a couple of 100 years. But the city is also going to gift you some things. So you have they bring for you the following. You have goggles of night that have been presented for you. So if you are a character that does not have dark vision, congratulations. One of you gets to, only one of you though, it's one pair. They're like greenish glass. Also, it looks fantastic. It makes you look like a dragonfly. Very stylish. They gift you a wand, which the wizards will tell you releases lightning bolts. They have a single pot of pigment on the inside. It's like a dry block that you would dip like a brush in water in order to paint with. So they give you a single pot of marvelous pigment, but just one. We're going to go with it's purple because I said so. They have a haversack that they will give you for carrying of things along the way. It's a handy one, in fact. And they'll give you some potions. You're going to get 2 potions of greater healing, 1 of superior healing. They'll give you a set of thieves' tools, just in case you run into a door that you can't find another way around, and a bag that has in it 20 berries on the inside. So,
It drives my tail. Yes.
yeah. So you have some things that'll definitely be helpful in your search. They remind you that whatever you find down there, should you make your way back up, that they would be happy to let you keep a percentage of this wealth. But the maintenance of the catacombs, etc., is not a cheap endeavor, and it would be helpful to the city for you to think about giving back when in this gosh, obviously you're the most selfish people agreeing to do this that might end in certain death. 20% seems fair, right? Split between you, not individually.
Yes.
So
I don't know money.
so with a single trumpet setting off 3 tones and a handshake and a sort of half-hearted clap on the shoulder to 2 or 3 of you, the mayor will send you down the cliff edge along these zigzagging paths that are taken by people that normally take the bone remains of those who die in the city and were not more expensively buried, etc., down into the ossuary and the catacombs, so that you can start your journey in. All right. So that's yes. This it is not a kazoo chorus, and I'm really sorry that is not a thing that I thought of, but you thought of it, and it's beautiful. So I'm glad that happened in your brain.
I'm so disappointed in our city right now.
Yes. So sad.
Yeah, you don't have to be from here. Maybe you're not native sons. That's part of the actually mostly daughters. Yes, for the. So our adventures as we like down these zigzagging paths down along the cliff face. The city is on a cliffside edge of like kind of like alpine territory. It's these beautiful limestone cliffs that in direct sunlight almost gleam white and like plummet down several hundred feet to a beautiful fjord. And it's a fantastic dragon habitat. I mean, fly like right in, like straight into wall basically, and like head home. It's great. You know, why'd you leave that? The world may never know. But
if you lived here, you'd be home by now.
Gosh, like it's the fantasy equivalent of having an automatic garage door opener for your lair. So as you're headed down, like it doesn't really matter what time of day it is, but we'll say that you start at sort of dawn, right? That's traditional, right?
Good.
The sun is up, so the cliffside is like glowing in that beautiful, very, very bright early morning, like sort of bluish tinted light. So it has that stunning, reflective, almost white color of the rock. And you'll be heading into darkness soon, so it may or may not matter. But as you're headed down the cliffside, let's get kind of a marching order of who thinks they're ready to give us an introduction to your character.
Whenever.
Awesome.
Okay. I'll go. I will say that for our party we have 2 aristocrats, a courtier, and an ex-military. And so the background that we were going with is that we are all we grew up together as chillins, made money from adventuring, and got into the nobility. And now we adventure for fun. And the ex-military man was coming along
and
to protect us, but we're a little better than he probably expected. So my character that I got randomly generated is Vera Thorngage, who is a Lightfoot halfling wizard. I am an aristocrat, but my occupation is a spy. I'm an information gatherer for an information broker. And he's the one who put me through college, so I owe him. And it's great. I love blowing stuff up.
I have a picture of you, though I suppose you don't necessarily have to give us your appearance.
Go for it. I a moderately disheveled.
Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, do I have a picture of yours? I think I might have everybody but you.
I put it in the Discord.
Okay,
I am a noble, and I love to go to the big balls. They are wonderful sources of information. When I'm out adventuring, I look like a hot mess. I'm sure I brought everything, Maybe.
Okay. I know I have Dorothy, and I know I have. Oh, yeah, there we go. Yes,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You did give us your lovely wizard.
I don't think I saw
your
the
like
picture.
fantastic forelock of hair is
The picture
actually
is great,
the thing
yeah.
that people will
face.
notice first. And yes, that discriminating face of cynicism, maybe, or just like a really discerning.
Yeah, mild confusion, maybe, but I'm sure that we are in the right room.
Yeah. It's the only one we could be in.
It's also fun as a wizard. My wizard spell book is made of thin metal pages with the spells etched in acid.
I like that.
It's fun.
Also, like, maybe in a pinch, you could use that to like really close, like paper cut somebody bad. It's metal. It's gonna hurt. Sting.
It's got some heft to it. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Okay. Fantastic. All right.
Who's next?
Whoever wants to. Awesome. All right.
Well, then first, apologies, my camera keeps freezing, so some of my normal expressive nature may be lost from time to time. But I ended up having randomly generated for me Vidania. She is a half-elf fighter subclass samurai. So her sensei got her into the nobility because, of course, samurai were the nobles in their time. So her training has been largely motivated by revenge. She has had her love, formerly a member of our adventuring party, lost to a horrible tragedy at the hands of demons, and now she's out to destroy every single demon that has ever existed on this planet. Not that she necessarily has the skill yet, but damned if she's not working on it. Other things to note about Vidania, that it may have told me that she is hideously ugly. This does not stop her from being massively persuasive, and it definitely helps with her being extremely intimidating. So, hell-bent on revenge, kind of ugly physical appearance as well as the irritable personality. She should be fun. Let me
Inside and the outside.
Who's going to be
Confidence
the
sky
love
high.
of this group?
Awesome.
I guess I will round out the crew of effete aristocracy. I am playing Timsa, who to most appearances would seem to fit in with the rest of the very highfalutin crew, with his very stylish pantaloons, the very height of fashion, as well as his tailored frock shirt with very puffy sleeves. He would not look terribly out of place in the most elegant of soirees, but for the fact that he is in fact a lizard person. And that is not to say that this is a commentary on his ability to feel empathy for other sentients. No, he is literally a lizard man. He is bescaled, beclawed, his jaw unhinges. Yeah. And I rolled on the wheel of morality a what I would call it a barbalock. I am a barbarian warlock multiclass, a lizard folk courtier barbarian warlock multiclass.
Beautiful.
It's gonna be great.
It's gorgeous.
And growing up,
I don't know what
if
you're
any of the
talking
other
about.
noble kids,
Why are we taking that tone? It's perfectly logical to me.
Right.
if any of the other noble kids had a problem with you being a lizard folk, we beat the crap out of them.
And then we'd eat them. It's fine. Yeah. No one would know the evidence.
I just intimidated the ever-living shit out of them, and they went running away.
Yeah, those are when we weren't hungry. All right, awesome. Okay.
Okay, between the two of us, we really are scaring people.
And this is what my character, Dorothy, just kind of stumbled into as they were likely, hired on as protection detail that really wasn't needed. So they went from being a soldier / detective / investigator to now being joined with this party. They are a deep gnome rogue. So they also are not as tall as some of the other party members and are just kind of tiny.
I actually feel like our average height is fairly short.
I was going to say,
now that I
actually,
think about it. Yeah.
We're small folk. Yeah.
Yeah. So actually, they fit right in.
Am I the tall one as a half elf? I don't know. What's the height on a lizard man?
I believe lizard folk are. I think I have it open here. Lizard folk tend to be fairly lorg.
I guess I'm thinking of kobold is small.
Yeah.
Lizard folk are a little bulkier and taller than humans, and their colorful frills make them appear even larger. Though my size is but medium, but only medium.
We love
You're a beautiful courtier.
A beautiful courtier. My plumed scales.
Yes, the frills really do sell.
Yes,
like
they really
so many
are.
outfits. It's just the cherry on the top of.
He never goes out adventuring unless they are just so.
Of course, yes.
Yes, it has to be
frill
the
day.
kind of
We're
fashion.
staying home.
Yeah.
So
We
long as we
respect
don't
this.
get blood on your pretty outfit. No, wait, you're part barbarian. That's happening.
Awesome. Okay.
I do have the ability to regain hit points by literally eating a part of somebody. So
Amazing.
So, thinking back to the wonderful
But you
gifts.
brought like a tiny little silver knife and fork to do it. I feel like.
Pinky's out.
Yes, of course.
Yes.
The wonderful gifts that the townspeople have given us. I have proficiency in thieves' tools as a spy. Does anybody else have any problem?
No.
I will take those. And do any of us see in the dark?
Oh,
I do.
I will probably take the goggles too.
It truly is so fantastic. You've been able to come this far in life in spite of your tragic handicap.
I went to college.
And isn't that just truly remarkable? It speaks to your strength of character.
So as this banter continues, you're headed down to the catacombs are built into the limestone. So the area in which you are going to enter is actually the newest constructed of the catacombs. The oldest of the construction of the catacombs. So it's polished in a way that the deeper levels are probably not. Now, thank you to some poor scribe generations ago managed to make a comprehensive, or what should be comprehensive, map of the catacombs and the lair inside. Now, whether that's accurate years later, we don't know, but you've been given a copy of this by the city. So you have some idea of at least where you're looking at going. Shouldn't be too many shocks and surprises, but at least in terms of what the layout looks like. On our first layer of the catacomb, the entrance to the ossuary is built into the stone in this beautiful, relatively large arched entrance. So it lets in sunlight. And at this point, the things that make it into the catacombs are skeletal remains, things that have been cleaned with quicklime. They've been picked over by, things that help the city dispose of the remains of their dead in a way that gives back to the ecosystem. So the things that would be coming in, you don't have like murders of crows hanging out at the entrance. And you can tell, even just from standing in the archway of the entrance, that at one point this was probably a marvel, like a beautiful structure created in memory of those whose remains come here. There's like built into the walls that you can see even from standing outside, mosaic formed in different like sets of bones from the people whose remains make it here. So like things that are fit together so perfectly well, where you have like pieces of vertebra that manage to stack on top of one another, skulls, femurs, like things that are almost laid out in design. Not that it necessarily makes an image, but the collection of thousands of people's skeletal remains made into something that is quite beautiful, actually. And then where things are going now, which is that there's also just these like heaped mounds of bone in different places, like even visible from the entrance. In this morning sunlight, you can see what's been happening for the last at least 10 years. Is things are not being arranged or cared for properly, they're just being mounded onto the floor. So the first room in our dungeon space, and I have this open, but it's in a tab, and I have many of those right now, so hang on one second.
Who runs this place? God, why can't they organize it?
It's like if this were where your relatives' remains were going to end up, you know, like certainly those of you with money, so most of you snobby people, right, would not stand to see your relatives treated in this way, and would probably have paid to have them interred somewhere else. Even if their like bones were to be, you know, cleaned and displayed, it would go in a like nice mausoleum somewhere, you know, made out of like some marble, and like, you know, they where the good people die. This is not necessarily that. So, and like especially now, this does not feel like a place of honor any longer. So this broad archway that can fit all four of you astride has shallow steps carved out of the limestone headed down into an open chamber with three doors off of it. One to the west, one to the east, and one straight ahead. We're going to call that north for simplicity's sake. So if you are looking at the map right now, north is sort of straight ahead and up.
Okay.
All right. That big chamber, once again, the walls and even like parts of this vaulted ceiling that goes up very high, like easily 15, 20 feet, and is sort of domed up above into the rock that forms the bedrock of the city, right, is decorated with things that have been very intentionally designed and displayed in a way that comes out as, you know, macabre but beautiful. And then on the like almost polished limestone surface of the ground, which is carved like into the bedrock, but in big old blocks. There's just heaps of bones from years and years and years now of neglect, and just basically finding a place that you can put them where it won't immediately collapse all of the bones underneath it, and easily thousands worth of remains heaped into that space. The two doors to the side are stone doors. From here, they just look fairly massive. It's about 7 feet tall and about 4 feet wide, so just a big slab of stone. And then the one straight going forward this one's just a heavy wooden door. But the big open space that you're in right now, 3 entrances to where you want to go. I did number rooms, so you're welcome to refer to things by number, players, if you so desire. The open room is room 0, aka I did not give a number, but we've got 1 and 2, and then I think 3 is forward, right? So yes, so you can choose where you want to go, or if you want to get your bearings first before we move along. But you can already see the effect of neglect of people even wanting to step further than 1 room into this place. And none of the people who care for the remains that end up here came down with you. Yeah, that's not.
And they want 80% of the cut to take care of
The
this
city
place.
wants 80% of the cut. You doubt how much of that is going to make it to those who, you know, labor with bringing bones down the cliffside, you know. But
so who's in front?
Let's assume that the full-on fighter with a vendetta and a desire to find anything to fuel that vendetta is not being slowed down by anything.
I think that's fair.
That's fair.
If there's
Yeah,
not a group consensus of where we're going, I'm picking it. Just
absolutely.
letting you know.
Now the Vera is right behind you, like ready to blow anything up. She looks terrified, but also a little bit of an adrenaline junkie. Like she has no idea what's going to happen. She's afraid she's going to die, and she's going to blow up whatever moves first.
Awesome. The entrance is big enough that if you seriously wanted to walk in as like, you know, your action-packed hero like lineup, you could absolutely do that.
Standing behind the person in armor.
Yeah, sure. Or that. So marching order wise just depends on where you make the choice to go. So if Vidania is going to make the choice,
lobby straightforward because we have already gotten a little bit of an idea that nobody likes to go very far in this, but we know that through that door is deeper in. These side rooms probably don't have any particular value to them.
I don't know. That's a really cheap door. I want to go behind the expensive doors.
So Tim sort of swivels his head back and forth, his tongue occasionally whipping out to lick his own eyeball. I would rather
to keep them moist. God.
I would rather that we investigate the rooms to either side. I would hate to be outflanked. You know how I don't appreciate party crashes.
It's true, we don't.
I guess we're going to the side first.
In that case, might I suggest the room labeled 1, even though I do not actually have any means of knowing that is the way that it's been labeled.
You've been given this map. Like I'm obviously the crappy handwriting has been added later, but you know the scribe that knew what they were doing, inscribed these better created numbers. Like to be clear, I am a math teacher. I don't need good handwriting.
100% true.
Like I don't teach kindergarten. Nobody's writing with like the dotted line in the middle of their script, and it's legible. So, yeah, fuck you, everyone who's told me that.
Vidania is rolling her eyes so hard at you wanting to go in numerical order right now, and she's eventually going to get sick of this shit. Just warning you. Irritable personality was part of what I was rolled, so just fair warning coming. But for now, I will go along with this.
And so
you have labeled rooms, we'll say. Yes.
And before we move to go in, since this was also what was generated for Dorothy, I think they just kind of pause, look back out at the sun, and says, "We're not going to be seeing that again."
Soon. We're not going to see that again soon, right? Like...
I said what I said.
Why do we keep them around again?
Yeah, this is...
like. There's wanting to get back at something, and then there's fatalism.
Tally-ho, chaps! Room number 1!
To the left!
Great. While you're in the main area, before you go to open the door, does anyone want to, whether we stop and take a moment to breathe in the freshest air you're going to experience do you want to, say, perceive anything that might give you an idea of where to go or what awaits you should you open the door to the first, second, or third room?
I was going to say that because it is also part of the randomized character that I ended up, my character is very carefully examining the ceiling because you never know what's up there.
I will say Dorothy would like to make a perception roll.
Beautiful.
And if we're doing it, it is something. Yeah.
So the ceiling, because of the like domed nature, so it is actually, it's like beautifully sculpted out of the limestone, that it's almost like it's smooth, and because it is like natural limestone, it has that like slickness to it that it probably does like collect moisture that eventually comes down, but it's not forming any like stalactites from the surface because it is so beautifully carved into that dome. The mosaic design of the like various bones that make up the ossuary go like vault all the way up to the very, very top of the wall, and there's like a border done in some form of metal and like longer bones. So you imagine those are probably like some people's femurs, etc., forming that border up there.
One assumes.
So it's but like that if you touched it, it would come away like moist. Yeah. Cool and moist as it is. Yeah. Refreshing, but like it's filtered through limestone, so like to be fair, that's like some of the cleanest water.
That's fresh spring water up there.
Yeah. Filtered through limestone, and also grandma.
I mean, not my grandma.
The down here probably would not deign to say lick it off of a bone, but if one of you was going to do it,
don't threaten Tim Saw with a good time.
Hey-o.
That's what skulls are really for, right? It's just a perfect size for sipping, like cold soups
that nice
and like ceviche, right? That's what you serve out of a skull.
Gazpacho from the skull of an enemy, truly one of life's underrated pleasures.
Horrifying.
So I know Dorothy was going to roll perception, but I forgot to mention probably the most important part of my character. I have a ferret familiar named Raffles.
Yes,
he hangs out around my deck as a scarf. He's absolutely the most popular. He hangs around my deck as a scarf, and he gets perception on any. I'm sorry, he gets advantage on any perception skills related to sound and smell. So he's going to roll perception. But Dorothy, go ahead.
Dorothy didn't do so great on that, so we got a 12 total.
Okay. Wonderful. So go ahead and roll for Is it Raffle or Raffles?
Raffles.
Yes. Okay. It is better with the S. I agree.
Yes. He's named after a famous thief.
Or is it a Z?
No, it's an S.
Okay. The Raffles with the Z is like a restaurant somewhere that serves waffles with ice cream on top of it.
Cool. We're just going to start this off right.
If this doesn't exist, that's my first million right there. So yeah. Okay.
we're gonna start this off right with my advantage. I got double 5s, so that would be an 8.
Great. Okay. If you get like close up to the actual stone door, so sound travels really resonantly through this stone. I mean, you've got what is basically a like natural organ of the chambers of this because it's built into the limestone. So low sounds transmit really, really well. And high sound from like, smaller chambers is going to have like some distortion going on, but like you'll be able to hear sound as it goes through. When you step out of, so Dorothy, as you get like out of the main area of the ossuary and then like that beautiful like entrance room closer to the door, you can feel almost through the stone as you get close enough to it, that low like resonance of sound and the like pressure wave of it, that through the door for one, there's definitely something there that doesn't have the same sound tone as like the wind whipping next to the cliffs and the like rushing sounds of the like lake underneath. That like there's a low voice tone almost coming from the other side, but it doesn't seem verbal. It just seems like not a wail. It's not high pitched enough for that, but there's a tone coming behind that.
There's a disconcerting sound that's not quite a wail, but almost is a wail, but it's too low to be a wail.
That doesn't make any sense. We're above sea level. What would a whale be doing here?
Not that type of whale.
I don't know, but once we go,
it actually might be in that frequency band.
Let's look.
Maybe that type of whale.
I don't know that many types of whale. I just the one really.
There is that like blue whale that can't talk to its like fellows because its like pitch is off from like it has some like oddness to its vocal cords, so it sings at a different pitch than everything. So it's like hasn't been able to find a mate. But that's not what we're talking about right now. But if you haven't read about that,
I was gonna say now I'm gonna cry.
How did you kill the mood?
It's really interesting.
Imagine
People are trying to
that Dorothy
help.
just said that. That was what Dorothy said to explain this to you.
Hold on, the dungeon is less important now. We can go find this whale friend.
You're next to a freshwater lake. That can wait.
I will say, I will go ahead and also roll perception just because Timsaw is a very refined art enjoyer and is always on the lookout for something rare and or priceless. If I am able to roll perception.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I say this like I'm good at perception. I'm not.
I actually am, but
You
I'm
can
not
always
worried about it till we get through the door.
That's an 11.
Ooh,
Nice.
double digits.
The heaps of bones, you feel like you'd probably have to like go through to find out if there's anything hiding in there. From right here, it's just sort of that dull, like almost bleached tone of some of the bones clearly have been through some kind of like chemical process, so they don't have the same like yellowing of actual like ivory. Because that's what bones are, human ivory. There's metal along at least the top of the design in the ossuary. So you imagine that there's probably some like in the mosaic of bones, but it doesn't seem like it's like gleaming with gold and silver. It seems like it's probably put up with like, iron or bronze, something that's going to help provide some like structure to. Now, if you got really desperate, I'm sure you could decide that you wanted to, peel off someone's ancestor and, grab the metal content behind them, much like someone, stealing a catalytic converter or an air conditioning unit. But it's beneath you. At first glance, this doesn't feel like the place where you're gonna find your wealth in the dungeon.
The day
And
is young.
as an appreciator of art, you also would never do that.
Also, I just want to appreciate how many people are in this specific call who know a potentially distressing amount about the preparation and display of human bones.
I may have gone down a couple of rabbit holes.
My book is sitting right over there. It's almost within reach. I've thought about grabbing it.
There's some real
like,
cool
I just realized like, we're just kind of like tossing bone facts out there, and everyone here just going like, yeah, like you do,
that tracks.
yeah,
As one does, yeah.
I didn't just like talk about the people that led you down because they didn't walk down here with you, but they definitely have like burns from heating up the calcium carbonate, enough that it can be used for bone bleaching. And like, if this reopens as a dragon lair, you'll be serving them too. But they're lower caste, so most of you don't care about that.
It's true. It's what we pay them for, yeah.
Also, like, they were born that way. Like, really. Like, they should have just been born rich if they wanted it.
I mean, they really should have thought of that before they decided to be born poor.
Exactly, yeah.
Those parents? Ugh. In this economy? Okay.
Cringe. Too real.
Oh, I love that line. I'm going to steal that and use that later. So getting to the door.
This door.
With the whale.
As the spy,
we're
absolutely
still
going
in the
over
first
the door.
room. Okay.
Yep. Classic D&D adventure.
There's 3 levels to this dungeon.
We're all going through the first door. So as the spy, I'm going over the door carefully, looking for traps. Is it locked? What's going on?
It is locked, but it doesn't have at least any obvious trap markers on it.
Okay.
You imagine being, from what you know just from the city, that it's locked to keep the other things on the other side, not to keep you from necessarily opening the door. But those who work here probably don't want things coming up from the depths of these caverns. So it's locked, but it doesn't seem like that's a deterrent for you necessarily. And there's definitely no like wire or anything that would indicate that someone had made a trap from this side at least.
Okay. Are people ready for me to try to open this door?
Let's do it.
Either that or let's go through the wooden door like I first lobbied.
Pshaw.
All right.
Pretty good.
Do we have a marching order?
I will obviously look once the door is open, actually using my perception skill this time around, but once I look into the room, me.
Okay, I guess I'm asking who's actually doing the opening of the door. Like,
I'm picking
if
the lock.
it's
I got
locked,
an
you have thieves' tools now. Like, you can
Yep.
absolutely pick it open.
I got
I'm
an
not going
18
to make you roll
unlock
for that
the
or
door.
anything. It's going to, like, whatever
Okay.
time it would take you, you have it. So you can pick the door open. Who's turning, like, hitting the handle and shoving this thing in?
You're gonna make me waste that 18 to unlock the door.
I'm sorry.
That's cold.
You use such finesse to open this door that, like, the door doesn't just, like, click as the lock opens. It, like, clicks and there's a faint sparkle sound. It's so nice.
Amazing.
You did
Everyone clapped.
wonderfully.
And they
Now
gave you
the
dinner
right
for free.
All right, who's opening the door?
I've been chomping at the bit and getting nasty about it because irritable, impatient me can't literally kick down the stone door, but coming pretty close and rolling 21 for perception once I go in order to, okay, is there anything I need to hit with my sword? Because damn it, I've been waiting.
Excellent. As you're debating this, actually, now opening the door did not take you much time, but since apparently deciding, like, who's actually going to open it is a question, in the process of this, you perceive this, like, greenish, grayish vapor starting to push through the stone of the door. So as you're pushing the door forward, it's coming through. So when you open the door, we're gonna have a form out of grayish greenish shadow immediately there. And then because you rolled a 21 with perception, there's a couple of ghouls in the back munching on something that looks slightly fresher than most of the other bones that were out in the ossuary. Like, where the marrow on the inside is, like, a little bit more powdery than would, like, ideally be a good meal, but the, like, crunching noise is what's coming from them. That tone that you heard that sounded almost like whale song was definitely coming from this shadow being. So, would you roll initiative for me, please?
Sure.
That might be as good as I do all day. 15.
13.
21.
All right, hold on. I have to.
I have a -1 to Anish, so I'm not counting on going very early very often.
Okay. Sorry. All right. So Vidani, I'm sorry, that was 15.
Yep.
Vera,
21.
thank you. Dorothy
13.
and Timsa,
13.
thank you guys. Okay. Which of you has the higher dex?
I have. What is my dex? +7.
Then that's going to be you.
Great. All right.
Probably the rogue, yeah.
Probably the rogue, and not the barbarian warlock godless multi-class.
All right. We're gonna. Okay. Delightful. Vidani, what's your dex, please?
8.
Thank you. Okay. Okay, great. All right. One of the ghouls is actually going to move first. So the space, like, as this room opens, those of you that dark vision, and I'm assuming you put on the goggles of night by now. Okay. Yeah. You look so stylish. The, like, Coke bottle thickness of these lenses in that, like, vintage 7-Up green. It's just
On a halfling size head.
yes. It's great. The room is rectangular and looks like it's been swept of pretty much everything. The walls are limestone with inset, like almost shelves that have laid out skeletons, looks like complete skeletons. So you can see in like the very dim sort of gray light of that this is probably at some point was where you interred people with a little bit more significance, money. So there's a good 15 cubbies for these skeletal remains. And then there were heaps of bones in the center that have been just destroyed by these ghouls.
This is why you don't bury people fresh.
Or fresher. You have to imagine that, given the state of most remains that make it down here, they've got to be hungry. So one of our ghouls is going to come right forward, and it is going to attempt to claw at Vidania. With its, like just wonderful manicure. Those acrylics like need no explanation. So it's going to attempt to hit you. Okay, I'm going to suspect that a 22 hits.
Yes, though
Yes.
I'm going to go right ahead and use my second chance feat. When a creature you can see hits you, use a reaction to force a reroll.
Cool.
Once
Okay.
per combat.
Get that out the way.
Yep.
Nice one. Okay. 13 probably doesn't, though, right?
I have a 16 AC.
Yeah. All right,
Good.
great. So that claw attack, like your dodge of it, like real nice, like fancy footwork, moving some shoulders, like good shimmy there. Just does not manage to hit you with that one. But yeah. All right, and like it's not doing the greatest like mental planning on this. You just happen to be there. All right, which means actually you are next.
But shouldn't it be
Vidania,
Irish?
sorry, is next.
I got a 21.
Yeah, Irish should be.
I'm
way
sorry.
ahead of me.
Yes, you are. I put you
I
in the
know
wrong
we have
order
two
with
B's.
the
It's going
I
to make
and
it
the
hard
A.
all night.
And
Yeah.
like, we're gonna rewrite that. It's fine. I said nothing.
All right. This thing that in the green fog that jumped up, ready to attack. Can I get an Arcana roll to know what that is? Or
Yeah, or a religion if you'd like.
definitely Arcana. My wisdom is not high.
Okay, great.
Not great. Let's look at the character sheet here. For Arcana, that's a 14. Okay, I have a really high Arcana score.
Okay.
Good thing you're the
So
wizard.
importantly, would you say that your adventuring party had, say, I mean, you have the means to do so. So are you well traveled throughout the world?
Have we traveled much of the world or just stayed around here? I don't know how adventurous.
I mean, we have to take our gap here.
I think
It's true.
this was a ending spot, not a starting spot.
Okay. I could see that. We did not start as nobility. We said that. We bought nobility. Okay. So we've come a bit far, so they would not remember who we were.
Okay. That is fine. So you've traveled to like to places that like definitely in your circles would be called exotic. You had to rough it a little bit, like your camping would have been attended to by like only a handful of servants, and the tents are raised onto platforms so that like the insect life etc has a harder time, but like you still had to deal with mosquito nets and like getting up in the middle of the night to like go get another drink from the bar cart to the side, because after all, like you weren't provided with a butler or bartender to do that for you. You had to like find your way out of the like, and it's just
Roughing it.
it was scrubbing a little. And those things that they tell the tourists that come down, not you obviously, like you were engaging with the culture and the people, but they talk about that some of their dead that die with a particularly tragic circumstance. either in their life or through their actual death, don't just come back as sort of unsettled spirits, but ones that wish to like impart that sorrow on those who encounter them. And they have this, wailing sort of moan, but the touch is really the part that they tell you to avoid. Like hearing it's just uncomfortable, annoying. You imagine it would interrupt your sleep, like the I'm like, no one. They gave you like little pieces of cork down here to like, but yes. So you don't remember what it's called, but you've definitely heard.
Sounds very Irish, yes.
No, but nice guess.
All right. So I know that this thing is bad, but I don't know what. I'm first going to backpedal as far as possible because the great thing about being wizard is the space. And then I'm going to start with just a firebolt. Just keep it simple, while we're just starting out.
Okay.
Ooh. Double digits at least. 19.
So since you have the ability to direct where this is going to go.
This is firebolt, not ball.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, so it's for the.
I'm going to start with a fireball.
Is that not the classic move? I'm sorry.
That would have been amazing.
Open door, fireball.
Like everybody else in front of you. 19 will hit.
Okay. I should have started with a fireball. Now I feel.
Yeah. So actually, 1 second. Yeah, go ahead. Roll your damage.
Not bad. 13 fire damage.
Great. Yeah, you hit it. Like that cloud of vapor definitely has like a little bit of like almost like a sizzle and a spark that goes through it, but it's not as dramatic as you imagine it should be.
Damn. Good to know. Good to know. I'm gonna write this down. I throw a firebolt, then immediately take notes.
And you said it was 13 damage was what you rolled?
13 fire, yes.
Just checking. Thank you. Okay. Moving, anything like that?
I said I moved as far back as I could, which as a halfling is 25 feet. But my spell range is 120, so.
All right, so sorry. Our other V name, Vidania, you're next.
Well, there's a ghoul taking a swing at me, so my katana is going to get drawn Ayajitsu style for 1 slash, followed by a 2nd slash, because what do you do when a fighter you hit things with a sword? That's going to be, first attack is a, 17, and second one is a 23.
Okay, so both of those will hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
All right, I am wielding it two-handed because katanas are traditionally wielded two-handed, so my longsword being headcanoned into that. D4 plus or D10 plus 4, so I have 9 and 8 respectively.
Okay. Yeah, it is not. It is not happy with that one. It's still up, but your slashes through it have definitely caused some like deep rends in the flesh. That the like hissing, which at first was predatory and aggressive, is now more of a like backed into a corner defensive. Like the tone has changed slightly. As an adventurer of real like substance here, you would notice the difference. Great. Okay. All right. So one of our creatures is going to go. So this like humanoid, like vapor in that like greenish gray is going to coalesce a little bit more into its actual form. So when it materializes a little bit together, now that it's sort of come through like the door as it was opening, it definitely has the form of a human. It's in like vague sense of robes, and there's a like mask, almost like a comedy mask of of this extreme expression of sorrow over its whatever its face would look like, but the bits of it that look a little bit more like body are like desiccated and like taut, like a decayed flesh would be, but not like rotting necessarily, just old and dead. And while it doesn't enjoy this sting that it got from our rogue, I'm gonna go with since we're
Wizard.
we're gonna
I was gonna
go.
leave that alone. Nope. Rose pissed you off. I'm sorry.
It's fine. It's fine.
It's great.
Directed at
We're
me.
gonna lash out
Everyone
at
hates
the
the
lizard
rogue.
folk just because it's a larger target, not engaging with a ghoul. So it's going to attempt to attack you and touch you. Timsa.
Who's you?
Timsa.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. My AC is 17.
Okay, great. Thank you. Well, it rolled a 1, so it's not going to touch you. But it's going to try one more time.
Ew, please,
just in
no.
case. Great. That time's a 25 though, so it probably will.
No.
Okay.
Ew, please, no.
Yeah, so the like first scramble of like just doesn't coalesce into actually touching you. Like you feel that like weird sensation of like a slight breeze of where it's just not quite formed yet. But the other is going to like brush your upper arm as it does, and it's going to hurt, but it's going to hurt in your brain because the immediate jarring sensation that you get is just this overwhelming sense of despair that whatever this thing is moaning about, for a minute you feel it, and it's going to deal you 21 psychic damage.
21 psychic damage. Okay,
Damn.
cool. Room 1 starting out spicy. Cool.
Told you we should have gone forward.
So that is, and it's not going to move. It's gonna stay within reach of you. And Dirthy, you're up next, and then Timsa, you're on deck.
I think Dirthy's going to move to help Timsa and is going to stab at this creature with their short sword.
All right, go ahead.
That is a 21.
Okay, 21 is definitely going to hit it. It's,
awesome. And that will be 7 points of piercing damage.
Okay. So the slash will go through that like vaporous body. You'll see that moment where it like parts the gaseous form, and it clearly does something, but you get that same feel of like this isn't connecting the way that I would want it to do.
And then Dirthy is going to use bonus action hide.
Okay. All right. Great. Okay. All right. So are you gonna like duck behind one of the like mounds of bones where we?
Yeah, I'm thinking that they duck behind one of the mounds of bones. Okay. Just kind of find like a shadowed area where they can sort of meld into everything.
Okay. All right. All right. They like. Well, you'll bother with stealth for me, I think, when we go forward. But yeah. All right. Cool. All right. Delightful. Anything other than your move and your slash with the short sword? Awesome. All right, Timsa.
Cool. I am. Versus.
There's like a ringing in your ears, like resonating around your temples right now of that like whale song.
Yeah.
And you're almost starting to get the picture of the like tragic circumstances under which this thing died. Like it's not forming a complete story yet, but you've got that like sense of loneliness and helplessness and just ricocheting around your skull right now.
Timsaw is a little bit offended at the audacity that it thought that this was something that he would want to know. So he is reconsidering that whole discussion about Fireball. earlier. Is there a place that I could drop said fireball that would hit both ghouls and the fog without hitting my allies?
Did you notice that my
With-
fire spell did not seem to do much?
Oh, I see. Didn't do much against the fog?
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay. In that case, well.
Where is my stupid thing?
You are a warlock,
All
so
right.
Eldritch Blast, right?
Well, okay. You know what? In that case, no, I know what I'm doing.
Who took that rod of lightning bolt?
You
We
guys
did not establish.
Okay, we didn't establish. All right.
So at this point, whoever says I have the rod of lightning bolts. By
So
rod, you need wand, but yes.
Yeah.
In that case, I'm gonna go ahead and just
Vaginius goes, I don't want to.
I know lightning bolts, so
It wouldn't matter with the wand though. It's not a scroll. Yeah.
In that case, Timsaw is going to use his main action to cast Mirror Image.
Okay.
smart.
Then that is going to cause 3 illusory duplicates of himself to pop up around. Who knows? Who knows which one is the real Timsaw?
Hopefully
They're
not.
all stunningly dapper.
I know.
Like,
And then
yeah.
with my bonus action, I will rage.
Nice.
Delightful. Okay. All right. So we have three Timsas popping around, which is great. Since
Four total if you count the
4
real
total.
one.
Sorry, 4 new Timsas.
Yes.
Renew.
you know.
Yep, you're
Yeah.
so close.
The shine of. So you're gonna have a ghoul go for the remaining ghoul go for one of these of you. So I'm gonna roll a d4, unless you had a particular like positioning that you.
Nope,
Actually,
that's
no.
fine.
Like, let's just roll a d4. We're randomizing everything.
Yep,
That's how this
let's do
works,
it.
right? As I seriously put my hand into my dice bag and I picked up like 12 dice and none of them were d4. Okay. Second one came out with, look at this guy's so much fun. He's got speckles.
Oh yeah.
We love it.
Before you roll, should we decide which of those numbers is him?
Yes. Well, I rolled. So now my question is, do you want to roll for which number is the real one of you, or do you just want to tell me because you don't know what I just got?
Tell you well. Okay, I'll tell you what. We'll just do it this way.
Wheel
There is actually a description in the spell for how to adjudicate it.
Okay.
But we'll do the D4 method.
I am fine taking the actual if you feel like that is
It's fine. It ends up being about the same.
Yeah.
I am gonna pretend.
Dungeon.
I'm gonna pretend that Timsaw was number 3.
Okay, so it does not hit the real Timsa. This is
Okay.
going to hit one of your illusory copies, which, if it does any damage to it, it disappears, right?
It poofs.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it still has an AC of
Yes.
what, 13 or 14?
The duplicates each time the duplicate equals 10 plus your dexterity modifier, so 12 in this case for the duplicate.
Yeah, okay. All right, so let's see if it even hits the duplicate. It does, because it rolled an 18. So it's gonna go to claw at this duplicate.
I would have loved if the duplicate had just been like, ha
Alright, so it reaches out and rakes these long, terrible sharpened fingernails through your mirror image, and as it dissipates, it makes that hissing, upset and I'm gonna go with a little bit of that echo sound like your cats make when they see a thing that they can't actually attack. Yeah, and not happy.
The murder chirps, yeah.
Yes. Like when it sees a bird out the window and it's like, the thing I was built for, and I cannot gleefully destroy this feathered thing. There are at least a handful of cat owners in this particular cast, so you should probably know what I'm talking about. If you don't own a cat, people. Okay. So the mirror image. So number 2, if you are keeping track of which one, is gone.
Okay.
All right. Which brings us back up to the other ghoul that's going to hello.
Buddy.
I'm turning my head to yell at my cat who's trying to do something. So.
I got mine a basket at Daiso, the Japanese dollar store, and she loves it, and I'm like, Though I'm kind of mad because they had one with like cat ears that was smaller, and I wasn't sure if they were going to fit in it, and she probably could now that I'm seeing her that she loves it, and I'm like, yes, that's right. Like less than $5 purchase. Like, yeah, it's great. I will at some point post a picture of this. If you haven't joined us on Discord, guys, we post pictures of our pets. You should totally consider that. They're all adorable. They're all good boys. Like,
I think at this point our Discord is mostly pictures of pets, pictures of tattoos, and pictures of food.
It's true.
That's what we do.
Yeah. Why wouldn't you want to be
Occasional
friends with
role
that?
play.
Okay. All right. So, Vidania, the first ghoul is coming after you again. And that's going to be a 22, so I think it does hit. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have
Okay.
anything to stop that twice.
Great. All right. So it's going to go ahead and deal you some slashing damage. So that should be 7 points of slashing damage.
Okay.
You are a half elf, though.
Mm-hmm.
Not a true elf. So I do think you need to give me
Oh.
a Constitution saving throw.
Ow!
Yeah,
I'm
it's
sorry, like
Woohoo!
blood percentages do apparently exist in lineage and family. I mean, it's not fine. That's gross, but
what was the save against? Constitution?
Constitution.
14.
Yeah, so you're fine. Okay. You can still move, which is good.
Good.
Yeah.
All right.
Great. All right, which means Vera, you can attack.
Oh.
All right, Irish.
Yeah, Vera.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry, that's me.
Sorry,
Distracted by
Raffles.
There's a fluff in front of me.
Speak random, and what was my character's name again?
So, alright, so I saw this smoky thing. I threw fire at it. It didn't work very well. It beat the crap out of my teammate. Starting to get mad. But I still don't know, like, we're not firing for effect yet. We're still zeroing in the target. I'm going to throw a Ray of Frost now, which would do 2d8 cold damage and reduce their speed. She's surrounded by targets, so not a real big deal yet, but still going to try it. Non-nat 20.
20 would hit, but regardless of what you roll for the damage, it
Shrugs
just
off cold.
dissipates as soon as it hits it.
Oh, I don't like this thing. Whatever it is, I don't like it.
Yeah.
So
cold doesn't appear to matter.
So speaking of magical effects, I did remember something. I am a wild magic barbarian. When I rage, something happens. There is a random effect that takes place.
Awesome.
For maximum chaos.
Can we resolve that at the start of your turn then?
Sure, let's do that.
Okay, because you're coming up. We've got two. The gaseous thing is going to go first, though.
Cool.
So it was not happy before with, but now things have changed in the landscape a little bit. So it's going to, let's say, like, yeah, I'm gonna say we'll have it go for one of your images and see which one it grabs.
Okay, so for the spell it is so if I have 2 duplicates remaining, you roll a d20 and you have to roll an 8 or higher.
Yeah, just
Okay,
fucking
I did
rip
not.
it, baby.
So it's gonna hit one of your duplicates.
Slop
All right.
that down,
Great.
dude. Yeah, dude. Crack one
It's
for the
going
big
to move
boy.
forward with that same like touch effect, and as it does, it hit. It does. So it's going to touch your duplicate, and in that like moment where it would have, like, you almost get like the duplicate makes like a face of shock or surprise, but then immediately disappears. So yeah, it didn't do much in that moment to the duplicate, but it's going to try for, now that there is a single duplicate, yeah, because you have one more?
One duplicate, yes.
Yeah. In that case, it's going to try for, do I roll another d20?
Yeah, you roll another d20 and...
Above a 10?
Above an 11.
Okay, so this gun was 13. So,
Okay, yep.
Okay, so it's targeting you. Let's see if it
It's
hits
got
you.
me. It's got my number.
Okay, and will an 18 hit you?
An 18 will hit me.
Okay. All right, so it's going to attempt this time to make another of those touch attacks. All right, so it's going to do the same thing, like reach out and just like brush barely you, and make some psychic damage.
I can't
happen.
resist psychic damage.
Okay, and hold on. Okay. All right, this one it's only going to do 17 points of psychic damage. So not as bad as hit as the first time, but still that same like. And now the picture of this like poor bastard's death is becoming much more clear to you. Like died obviously of some form of disease, like alone, barely cared for, like in a situation where they were like alone and suffering and in like the not able to take care of themselves and being by themselves meant that this was like possibly even preventable, and you're getting all of those feelings of like the impending doom that they knew was coming.
The typical refrain of the indolent.
Great. Okay. As it goes. All right, second ghoul is going to try and do some hurt, and it's going to go for Vidania because it didn't like that it made a mirror image happen last time.
I thought I was before the second ghoul.
I'm sorry, I got that was yes, you are. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I was on who received a hit and not who actually hit a hit. Sorry, Dorothy, you are next. I apologize.
Okay.
Please, my rogue friend, go. Okay.
I was before the rogue, and I haven't gone yet this turn.
I got Vera. Yes? Okay.
Yes. So
great.
Vera's next.
And then we got the creature that you don't know the name of. Great. Yes. Vidania, go ahead. And then Dorothy. Okay. Sorry. Dorothy, you're on deck.
So I'm going to
Initiative's hard. It's counting.
I'm going to keep trying to hit the first school because it's the one that's actively involved with me right now.
Yes, which is why counting is hard.
This is the one time we can yell at you for that.
First attack was a 10. That probably doesn't do it. And second attack is a nat 20. Which is going to do 9 plus 4.
Oh yeah, no, it's going down. It was barely hanging on already. You'd done some pretty vicious slashes with your katana already, so now you're just basically like deepening that. How would you like it to look as those slashes take this ghoul down?
Well, in typical katana fashion,
it into sashimi?
This is going to be a downward slash from the right across the body, and it is going to leave it literally in 2 pieces when I am finished, and obviously standing in a flourish on the other side, ready to whip the sword back up in a cross strike.
Cleaved in twain.
Does it already in 2 pieces.
Like as it unhinges itself from like the 2 pieces, just kind of like slimmed in it. Yeah. The amazing finesse of a true adept. All right, yeah, ghoul 1 is down.
How many ghouls were there?
2.
Okay.
All
right. So I'm sorry.
A rogue.
I think Dorothy is going to go for of course, pop out of hiding to go for the other ghoul.
Okay, all right.
With their short sword. And that's probably not going to happen because that's a 12.
No, 12 hits them. 12 exactly hits them, so.
For 5 points of damage.
Thank you for discovering their armor class.
Beautiful. All right. Got a nice short sword slash.
And then going back into hiding.
Great. Okay. Yeah, you've got like a stick along the ribs and like what would have clearly been bleeding and is like separating where you can see some of the bone underneath it. Yeah. No, you hit it. It did not like it. But it is going to, since you hid again, go for Vidania, as I said before when I was paying attention to orders. Yeah. It happens. So it's going to try and bite you this time instead of claw you. Because, it didn't do what it wanted last time. That is a 14? No, right?
16.
Yeah. All right. So the bite just doesn't, like, I mean, it's hard with a humanoid mouth to really get a good bite
This is,
on anything
this is
shaped
why I
like an
wear
actual,
lacquer armor.
like you weren't holding your wrist out for it. Like, plus, you made that like beautiful cut of its companion and the like limited intelligence it does have. Like, yeah, like it was just like it was feeling a little performance anxiety. The bite did not connect.
What does your armor look like?
It is clearly the traditional samurai armor. It's technically chainmail because class, but no, we are completely theater of the mind for my full equipment kit. It is lacquer armor, and it is painted red because, of course, it is. I don't hide. It's the color of blood and vengeance. So, yeah, no. Very flashy and currently with a set of teeth bouncing off of it. Thank you.
Does it scratch the lacquer?
I don't care. It's probably very scratched at this point.
Okay.
All right, so first school is down, which means that top of the round is back to Vera.
Okay.
Did we have our barbarian?
No, we didn't. I was just telling you that's upcoming.
Sorry for being a niche,
No,
please.
you're fine. I'm sorry. I already messed it up once. I can't believe I did it again. Okay, I'm making tally marks, I swear. I'm sorry. Lizzie,
All right.
please.
So the top of my round, I'm going to have the effect, the magical effect when I enter my rage. So
Yes.
I can either roll the d8 or you can roll the d8, and I can tell you what happens.
I am without preference on that one. So like.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
You make.
You know what? You roll, and I tell you what happens.
Okay. All right. D8. It's a 7.
Okay. So, flowers and vines temporarily grow around me until my rage ends. The ground within 15 feet of me is difficult terrain for my enemies.
Okay.
Except for probably this nameless mist.
Yeah, I don't know how much the mist is going to care about that, but it is magical. It doesn't say that it explicitly makes it count as difficult terrain against magical things, but it is a magical effect, so I will put that in the DM's court. So we have one ghoul and the mist
And
still
this
in front of
thing.
us.
Yes.
Okay. Going to see so fire didn't seem to do much.
Ice did nothing.
It did something, but it didn't do much.
Fire did something. Ice did nothing.
And physical damage did not seem to do a whole lot to it.
Yes,
Well-
did something, but not much.
Not a lot.
Dorothy, your weapon is not magical?
Well,
Nope.
Okay.
I don't think any of us have a magical item at this point.
I actually do. My weapon is magical, so I can't always just try that. So, in which case, I'm going to just manifest my pact weapon, materializing an absurdly massive scimitar, big anime kid energy, mall kiosk scimitar, out of a gout of flame, and is going to rage a haul at the mist. First attack is going to be an 18.
Yeah, 18 will hit.
Okay, so that will be for...
You gonna make your first appearance? No?
So
Maybe?
that will be...
Yeah. Are we yelling at me because I'm not paying attention to you? Yes.
So that will be 13 magical slashing plus 2 fire.
Magical slashing. Okay, thank you. Down. You don't have thumbs. Okay. Oh.
Plus how much fire?
Plus two fire damage. Or no, I'm sorry, 3 fire damage. My bad.
Okay. All right.
So yeah, 13 magical slashing plus 3 fire damage. Second attack. Second attack, that is going to be a 12.
Of what kind of damage?
No, sorry, the second attack is just a 12 to hit.
Oh, I think that does. Yeah, 12 will hit.
Okay, cool. So...
I mean, it's a big gas pump. Like, not dodging a whole lot.
And so then that is going to be 15 magical slashing plus
Cool.
3 fire.
Okay. All right. The scimitar, when it slashes through, like the magical nature of the scimitar means that the slash that it makes, like it doesn't just cause that separation of the gas the way that the short sword did. Like this one looks like it's forming an actual rending cut along the gaseous form, like around like the humanoid corporeal form out of gas. So it's almost like it reaches through the like the wispy nature of this. Wispy is the worst word I could have possibly chosen for that. I'm sorry. The gaseous nature of this thing and cuts into it. The fire, same thing, like does a little bit of that like spark and fizzle damage, but not the way that you would expect that it would add. But the slashing bit definitely has hurt it. The form that you can see, that like vague impression of robes and a body, looks like it sustained damage, and it holds itself with like a lot more not just like mental pain, but also what seems like physical pain. Great.
Yay, we can hurt it.
Yeah. All right. Rule 2 is gonna try and hit the done.
Wait, do I come in now?
And then it'll be, oh no, it'll be you. Yep, sorry. We already did him. We're fine.
Yep, he bit my armor.
Yep. So Vera top of the thing, goal 1 is gone.
All right. Now, from what I saw, and this is probably a no, did that look like a weapon attack that the smoke made against our Barbarok here?
No.
Okay, that's what I thought.
It was a touch.
All right. I'm going to. Fire didn't work great. Cold didn't work at all. I'm going to roll the dice, and I'm going to throw a chromatic orb of poison at it. Ooh, that's 23 to hit.
It would
Do
hit.
anything? Does it do anything? Should I roll?
Nope.
No.
It dissipates, like that beam of color and magical energy just like almost gets sucked into the like.
Can chromatic orb do force?
No.
Ah,
I don't
dang.
think so. Oh shit!
Dang,
I meant to
just-
say acid. God damn it! That's what I. All right, next turn. I had thought about this ahead of time and then lost it. No, it's acid, cold, fire, lightning, poison, or thunder.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Everything but the really useful one.
Okay.
This is where we need
anything?
to have
Are you
magic
moving
roll.
any of?
That's-
No, staying where you are.
Damn where I am. I'm far enough back that nothing seems to be paying attention to me, which is exactly what I want.
Well, I mean, to be fair, you weren't the most hurtful thing for the thing made out of vapor, and this like the thing that it seems to want to be doing, which is like spreading this sorrowful feeling. You weren't close enough for it to touch you.
I guess
So-
I dropped back 25 feet. I'll drop back another 25 to make it 50 even, because I can still hit from here.
So you're like all the way on the other side of it. Okay. Just peeking around one of the mounds of bones. Vidania, you are next.
All right, well, I've got a new ghoul hanging off of my back that is going to catch the katana under shoulder first for a nice solid 25 to hit.
Yeah, that'll do it.
So that's going to be
Yeah, so
10
close.
damage. And then now
10?
that I've dislodged it with my sword going through it in one direction, I will swing around horizontal and only roll a 9, and that one will not work.
Okay, so I'm sorry, it was 10 damage from the first?
Yes.
All right, great. Yeah, it is hurt. Between the short sword slash and your katana, like it has been dealt some grievous wound bits, and it is not happy.
And I doubt this is relevant, but I'm going to use my slasher feat once per turn. When damaging an opponent, you can reduce their speed by 10 feet. So it's not going very far.
It wasn't going particularly fast already, but that might, for those that are hanging out in the back, it's less.
I mean, it's going to probably stay fighting me anyways at this point, but, if it stays in place, the rogue can take advantage of this.
Great, yeah. Though there's no way it could make it to our wizard, and it's unlikely that it will find the hidden rogue either. All right, great. Okay, so our gas buddy is gonna do things. I'm sorry, were you done?
Mhm.
Oh,
I made
okay.
my
I
tools out.
wasn't sure if that was like I had a thing, but yeah, okay,
Nope, that's just elbow on table and
great. Also, we're calling it a gas buddy now. I can't take that.
Yes, buddy.
Yes, buddy.
Amazing.
Da-da. All right. So having spread some of this sorrow to our Barbalock here, it is close enough to hover over to Vidania and try and impart some of this damage there, because we've made that experience of communicating the nature of our death happen.
Is
So.
it moving far enough that I could get an attack of opportunity?
Let's see, in map bit. Yeah, we'll go with that's fine. Like, cause we didn't. Sure.
Okay. If that's cool, then
Yeah.
I'll take a
Because if it's
reaction.
moving, honestly, if it's moving, like the room is not that wide, but like from where you guys mentioned that you were kind of like working on things, we'll say you're on opposite sides of that rectangle. So sure.
Okay. Cool. All right. I will take a reaction to make an attack of opportunity. Does a 21 hit?
It does.
All right.
Once again, it's a big old gas cloud.
Cool.
Like,
I
yeah,
figured,
it's not
just
wearing
wanted to make
armor.
sure.
It's not.
I don't like to assume. It's going to be 13 magical slashing again, plus 2 fire.
Okay, great. So wonderful. All right, that slashing, same thing. Like, looks like it's actually doing damage to the body that is inside of the like wisp of its form. The fire doesn't do a whole lot, but it's doing something. Like, you can see it spark, but then kind of fizzle. All right.
The extra fire is a passive benefit for me, so
Yeah. And you said it was 13 slashing?
13 magical slashing, yeah.
Cool. Thank you. All right. Yeah, it is not looking fine. If you had to make a rough estimate of how hurt this thing is, say it's like less than half of the way to, or sorry, more than half of the way to its, like really coming apart. So you found a thing that works.
yay!
Okay.
And it was coming for me.
And it was coming for you. Though I suspect it will not hit you because that's... No, it might. Actually, 16 is your AC, right?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So same thing. It's going to reach out towards you and make
What?
just like what would be like the back of its knuckles, because it barely reaches across as it gets this like slash. It obviously like jars its movement across the room. It's hovering as it moves about, and it's just going to like make the barest of contact with your arm, and in that way, it's going to have you experience this terrible that it went through. Okay, all right, that could have been. So it's going to hit you for 12 points of psychic damage. That didn't go very well at all. You've been through some shit. Sorrow doesn't bug you the same way. So that overwhelming sense of despair and helplessness and like just loss of hope hits you, but it doesn't cause quite the same like jarring nature to your brain. So it hurts, but not in like a completely the same.
It is bringing back some old feelings of loss and pain, but that's just an everyday feeling.
Great. All right, and it cannot move further. Dorothy, I think you're next.
So I think Dorothy's going to continue to focus on the ghoul because their attacks aren't doing much for.
And it looks
the
hurt.
gas buddy.
Like
Yeah.
it looks like it's
How hurt does it look?
It looks pretty hurt. Looks pretty bad. Like looks like a stiff wind from outside. Like or like just a good poke.
Looks like somebody put a katana through the top of its head a moment
Yeah,
ago.
like,
I mean,
looks like it's been slashed a couple of times through, and like, you know, those aren't grill marks. They're
Those aren't grill marks.
so I'm gonna guess that an 18 will hit.
Yes. You never know. You
All
could
right,
be
and
fighting a
it's-
ghoul that formerly was like St. Lawrence, you know? Like it's
And it's going to take 8 points of damage.
and it's absolutely going to topple over.
Amazing.
So what's your like awesome like kill stroke short sword move?
I think, if it is allowed, that Dirthy is actually going to use like basically climb up on some of the bones around and use that to launch off and just slice through its head.
Cinematically, some of these bones go scattering like in like a whole like 360 spray as you do that. And you know the age of some of them and like the treatment they've been under means that some will shatter when they hit the floor. So you've got this almost confetti of bone matter going on. But it is like
spray in the back.
You know, like if you had one of the artists that you've commissioned to do like the murals of your like, you know, heroic deeds, like this will be one of the things that you suggest to them the next time that you roll through.
I love it. Perfect.
Because after all, like what is the wealthy like the privilege is to be a patron of a true artist, and you know, like this ceiling obviously needs something on it. Just saying.
That is very true. I love it.
This room,
Right.
yeah.
Yes. All right, great. So Dorothy digs down the second ghoul. It is like sliced into pieces. But really, the thing that you needed to pay attention to wasn't the down of the ghoul. It was the style and grace in this move.
Yes, and I will say Dorothy does not hide this time. Like they are just basking in that moment that they do not even think to duck behind cover again.
Okay. All right, Dorothy. All right.
That's a poor-like decision, and it's fine.
All right, Timsa, you are making moves.
All right, making moves, making deals. Like I said, I got 2 tricks, but statistically one of them's gonna stick. So I'm gonna stick to what's been working, and I'm going to get Adam with my fucking Buster Sword. Okay, that's gonna be another 21
to hit. Yeah.
So that's gonna be that again. Actually, 13 magical slashing plus 3 fire. Second attack.
Okay.
Second attack is a 12 again, which I think hit last time.
Yes, 12 will hit.
Okay, 12 hit. Okay, that is going to be. Make sure I'm doing that math right.
Messing up.
8. Sorry. Yeah, I know. Okay, so that's going to be 18. It could be 18 magical slashing plus 3 fire.
Ooh, okay. All right. Those 2 attacks shake this figure in like a way that makes it look almost like it's like aging and breaking while you're watching it happen. The form is starting to like curl in on itself. Like if this were a human being, it would look like it needed assistance to stand back upright. That like gray-green mist that is making up the outside of and like obscuring the form of its robes, etc., is starting also to not dissipate but disappear. So it's looking more humanoid, almost more corporeal, as you've gotten it so damaged. Like the slashes through now you can see clearly have made like damage to its robes and what would have been like the like very like dry, desiccated, old like flesh underneath. It's not bleeding or anything, but it's as though this form is like losing its integrity and is so close to tipping right on over. So it's not looking good. Awesome.
Alas, that is the extent of what I can do with my action. So.
Okay. Which I think means we're back at the top again because we got rid of both of the ghouls. All right. So Vera.
I'm pretty sure that that Timsa has this. Like, I've been throwing stuff, but getting work done over there. So I'm just gonna sit back and throw another firebolt.
Okay.
You know what? I'll throw in some assistance here, and that's a non-nat 20
Yeah, that will hit it. Yes.
for 12 fire damage.
Okay. So it doesn't. Once again, it doesn't hit in the way that you'd expect, like that explosive bit of fire to hit. All right, but now when the crackle of fire hits the actual body of its form, like you can see the damage like bloom like right in the rib cage of this. Like this, what like looks like was probably human, maybe half elf. And like that bloom along the rib cage and the sizzle doesn't just like dissipate into gas anymore, but looks like it actually creates like a burn mark, like a little like circle of soot forms on the actual being, and it crumples forward, falls to the floor, and just into green mist and sinks into the limestone ground. Which means it's dead. Nice job. Okay. I mean, it was already dead, actually, to be clear. It's deader now. It is defeated and dead. Yes.
It is re-dead.
Yeah, it's re-dead.
It is very dead.
Yes.
It is super, super dead. It definitely wanted you to feel that sorrow of its passing, and perhaps to exact some revenge. None of you got hit quite that badly with it, but yeah. So you have just destroyed a haint, by the way. So it's from the Radiant Citadel book.
I don't suppose that anyone brought any potions.
We did, actually. Those nice villagers gave us some.
I am so very sad. And also injured.
I mean, I don't know if we have antidepressants, but we do have potions.
We can fix one of those two problems.
And beer!
And ale, yeah. Sure. So if you decide to look around the room also, because I just rolled this, God, I'm still calling them cubbies. Goddamn. All right. The
Corpse cubbies.
No, I love it.
Skeletons.
Cubbies.
No, not like flesh. Like the stuff that the ghouls were breaking open was very clearly like getting at any remains of marrow inside of the bone. Like these are treated skeletons so that they can last for flippin' ever. Especially in like the limestone environment, which is so like preserving anyway. When it's not actually in contact with the limestone itself, it's really dry. Like, you know, the perfect place for an ossuary. Like, nicely done, Edamont. But there are like coins in the cubbies with the skeletons. So if you go like looking, you can find like scattered into like both the things that it was destroying and then in each of the cubbies. If you're raiding them, these people's resting place, it's up to you.
No qualms whatsoever.
There's about 50 silver pieces and 60 gold pieces scattered in the, like, once again, this would have been the more elite of burial anyway.
This was the more wealthy room anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any art like art objects or bits of jewelry?
So there's one of the cubby bits has a couple of items stashed in the corner that haven't been disturbed. So there's a vial of quicksilver, if you know, should you need that. A set of really nice like artistic brushes and like what would have like something that they're a hobby or something for them to take with them into the afterlife. A little brass bell with some designs cut on the outside of it. It looks like it's worth, you know, some money. And where was the end of the one that I actually took this from? There's some candles in a pouch, which might be helpful.
If no one complains, I am a calligrapher. The pigment plus the brushes would actually give me a complete set of things to do.
Timsa is going to pick up the engraved bell. True beauty is wasted on the dead.
Okay. Can I ask a definitely not important question, which is, do you ring it?
Intentionally, no.
Okay. I mean, you've just been like shooting things, etc. I'm just curious if
I mean, I'm not saying that it won't ring while he's like stashing it, but
but you're not going like, I just saw It's a Wonderful Life, ding 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 ding. Yeah, okay,
right, yeah. If intent matters, he's not ringing it currently.
Okay, cool. All right. So yeah, mostly money out of that, but. Yeah, Quicksilver might be useful if there's like a component for that you need it for. If not, it will fetch some money later, or at least it's useful. The set of brushes, yes, with the pigment that you got from the Wizards Guild will definitely be potentially helpful. And yeah, you have a like valuable, very like nice bell, which might be useful, might just be pretty and worth some money.
Might be dangerous.
Maybe dangerous. Maybe it definitely couldn't. I'm sorry if I have called them cubbies. I know that there's probably a technical name for this, and I definitely read about catacombs and like what they're, but I don't remember what they're called.
No, they are called corpse cubbies from now on.
Yes, that's brand name. Yeah,
it's where you put your lunchbox. With okay. I would like for us to actually break here, if that's okay for everybody. Just like a nice 5-minute bit. I would like to move around a little. I would like to remind those of you watching that we have opened one door. But that means that we've had now successfully destroyed some stuff that otherwise would have, especially the haint, would have followed you along because it can travel through walls.
Good to know. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It travels through them slowly, but it travels. So we have successfully vanquished some things, and we'll get back to you in about 5 minutes, everybody. So
all right.
Stick with us. Corpse cubbies, not the worst thing I'm going to say on this stream.
You're hiding behind the bones, aren't you?
With yeah. Which is to say, we did our homework for welcome back. So I hope you're still with us after that break. We have cleared one of the rooms of this catacombs below the city that was hiding some nasty stuff that you would partly expect would be preying on the recently dead and then the soon to be recently dead, but also something that was a little bit more of a jarring experience, trying to force the party through the trauma of the experience of their own sorrowful death. And it was not great. Yeah, that hurt. So, going through this room with our corpse cubbies, which is what we're calling them now, where you lay out skeletons in a catacomb, this nicely carved out shelf in the limestone wall where people of consequence had laid their forms completely to rest, that we rummaged for coins and a set of artist's brushes, amongst other things. There's one more thing that you find, which is someone has a little statuette. Not very big, only about what would have been carved probably from a 4-inch by 4-inch by 4-inch cube, carnelian bowl. So it's red, precious, semi-precious stone carved in the shape of a bowl. And it has some weight to it, not just because it's stone, but also if it's possible that somebody put something in the middle of this form, but it's got a heft to it that is belied by how small it actually is. Fits nicely in a palm. If you hit somebody over the head with it, it would hurt. But it's in the shape of a little bowl, carved out, bright, beautiful red stone.
I think I would like to take that because I am curious. Did anybody take the coin from all the corpses?
No.
I wrote it down on the sheet just as a eventual collective.
I thought that you were saying that you didn't have any problem with it. I would have been just
you a handy haversack, so whatever you like want to carry around with you. You have space to carry it without.
One of my character's motivations is to get items of power to help them defeat the demons. Anything which is going to help me acquire them, either finding them or buying them, I am taking. I have no qualms about raiding the dead. That is not at all a problem for my character.
And in much
We
the
just
same
fought the
way
dead.
that if we asked you guys how much like a flagon of ale costs, like, and you'd be like, I don't know, 3 gold pieces.
$50? It's gonna be more than $50 for a year, right? Like that seems,
like, like this could at least, this is, chingle, 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 a meal. So, like, God. Several bananas, at least.
Several bananas, yes. How many?
This is enough to pay my servants for a month.
Right.
How many health potions did we bring down with us?
So you had, I think it's 3 in total. They gave you 2 of greater and 1 of superior.
Okay. Does anybody mind if I take one of those?
Go for it.
No, please do.
Okay, I'll take. What is greater or superior better?
Superior is better. Superior is the 8d4 plus 8.
Okay,
And
I'm just gonna do the
4 plus
greater,
4.
the greater one, which is how many d4 is that?
4d4 plus 4.
4d4 plus 4. Okay.
Yeah, you took a good hit. I don't think we're ready to take a short rest
You
yet.
took,
but
you took
Not-
2 really good hits. Yes.
I am going to go
First
ahead
one-
and quaff one of my regular healing potions that I purchased as well, because I also took a mighty hit, and I'd rather not walk into the next fight as brutalized.
All right, cool. All right, so I'm feeling a smidgen better.
I would like to examine that bag of berries that we got. Can I get an investigate on that? What kind of berries are these?
Sure. They're good.
They're good berries? That's good. Yeah.
I feel like they didn't hide what they were when they gave them to you. Like,
Okay.
this is they're that wonderful, like, conglomerate fruit thing, like kind of a shade between raspberry and blackberry, and like each little like pip of it bursts delightfully on your tongue, and
Are there still mechanically 1 hit point per for
Yes.
healing? Okay, cool. That hasn't changed since first ed then.
The little wizard with very few hit points is going to take that back.
yeah, it's
They
a
two
bag of
people
20
beat on.
berries, and they also mean that you're like fed for the day, I think, right? Like so
Okay.
but I don't imagine that you came down here on an empty stomach. So
Yeah. We had a big breakfast. The
yeah,
servants were busy.
they roasted an entire lamb for us this morning.
Yeah, of course. What do you do for breakfast?
That
Most
and
important meal of the day. Our last one.
so you came down well provisioned, and certainly ready for like you carbo loaded a little bit in the morning, but like other than that, stick to a very like whole ingredient, like no processed foods go in these bodies. That's for poor
Organic,
people.
all natural.
Eat like kings. Meat.
At this point, I want to go farther down. Like, this room was cool, but it didn't have that much in it that was neat to loot. Let's keep going.
Okay,
Thank
so
you. I said that to begin with.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, Timso was all about checking out the side rooms first, but the first side room that he checked out led to him getting
Beat the
heckin'
crap
wild.
out of him. Yeah.
Yeah, so you know what? Cool. Just forward. Forward sounds great. Let's do forward.
okay.
Thanks.
So there is a like heavy wooden door.
Okay.
Same thing. It's locked, but it doesn't look like there's anything in particular keeping
Give it
this.
a
It's
good-
just to close it
throw
off
once
for the
over.
stuff coming up. So you are welcome to pick open that lock. I'm not going to make you roll or anything. Mechanically, it would just take a little bit of time. If you would like to roll, you may roll with your proficiency with the
will-
thieves' tools.
I will give it a thorough once over, and I'll get ready to unlock the door. But I would like my ferret to have a good listen at the door.
Sure.
Ooh, 21.
Great. There's an almost imperceptible, but since this is once again it's limestone, so it conducts sound very well. There's like a sort of flutter sound, and just a little bit of a like from the other side of the door.
Something flying. Damn it.
Bats. I hate bats.
I'll say, I hear something flying in there. It's very disconcerting. Click here. Go whoever wants to go first.
You heard a sound, so and you can like roll nature for me or whatever.
I was gonna say that's what I got from it. Oh,
if you decide that you want to know.
Do I have any points in nature? Have I been outside?
Or like arguably survival?
No, we're going nature. That's a 10.
Okay.
That's actually a lot better than I expected.
It's a thing that probably flaps something, so maybe it's a platypus.
Sky puppies.
Yeah, the sounded like flapping. Might be feathers. Might be bat. Might be someone with an umbrella.
That's what I'm relaying you guys.
It's something with feathers or maybe a bat. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it sounds like flapping in there. Click. Go ahead.
I go ahead. It's what I do.
All right. So you enter into a colonnaded room. So it has two columns heading backwards, like through the long room as it goes back. The columns are made out of marble, not of limestone. So they're beautifully carved, like has the like grooves along the sides and then very ornate capitals on the top. It would be beautiful if it was lit in the way that the first room was lit by sunlight when you came through. This one has, like, in what you can see just upon entering, some like extinguished like torch sconces in the walls. Nothing is currently burning. But it's just a beautiful like entrance hallway. Like you could imagine that this had some real splendor to it when you were traveling, like if this were, in its former glory, as an entrance. There's the remains of like mosaic fresco along the wall where you can see like little tiles that have just fallen into disrepair, where some of them have fallen off. It looks like vaguely like sort of nature and pastoral scenes. You can see something that definitely looks like it was, mountains and river, possibly leading down to like the lake that you're over top of. But it's both dark and you can't make out the colors real well because all of you are relying on, dark vision or goggles. But like probably when this is lit up, it both has like a shine to it and they're just old and dusty and some of them have fallen off. You like proceed into the room. There's also
Perception first.
Sure.
We know something's flying in here. I want to look up before we walk too deep into this. I know that's a character. Yeah, that's a thing you like to do. That's a thing I feel is essential now with a 24 to perception.
Great. Okay. So the space feels long. Like, I mean, you have, like, with dark vision, you can see out to 60 feet. So you can see the, like, extent of this. Like, it's not as big as the room that you entered into with the mounds of skulls, but it's a larger, like, larger colonnaded room. There's two... Yes.
I have a dark vision radius of 120 feet.
Oh, okay. So yeah, you can see all the way to the back. Cool.
Nice.
So even without bothering to roll for me for the perception bit, there's two archways that head off to the side. So like both east and west, there's an archway doorway that's not huge. Like these are more of like sort of fits like one, maybe two people astride through. Normal sized like arch doorway, probably maybe like 8 feet at the top of the arch going through, carved into the limestone with some like intricate work done on the actual stone. All the way to the end, there is a like flat wall straight ahead. So there isn't a doorway, or at least a visible doorway. There's a like flatness to the wall, and then there is a door straight ahead from you. I was in the wrong room. There is a door straight ahead. This one is also a stone door, has some like runes around the outside of the door. You'll have to get like closer and actually examine to get a sense of what those are saying, because it's dark vision also, so it's just, a little bit mottled, even though you can see them. And then there's stone like carved out of, once again, like marble, stone furniture. Like there's like, like what would be almost like a chaise lounge carved out of marble along like and in between the colonnades. So this was definitely like a reception hall. And for you and for Fidania, you can see on one of these benches on the like curved arm of the bench, there's an owl perched on the arm of the bench. We'll go with it's on the east side, like 3/4 of the way down the room, and it's looking at you.
A live owl?
Mm-hmm.
I almost took an owl as my familiar.
And live owl.
Who are you?
So Raffles immediately goes over to check out the owl. He's just interested in this owl. It's what is going on. What?
There's a dangerous thing, a rodent going towards an owl. This has never turned out poorly in rodent history.
It's natural prey.
Amazing.
So
it was nice
as
knowing you, Raffles
heads towards it, it'll start to sort of puff up the feathers around like on sort of the ruff around the neck. It has 2 of those like sort of little ears of feathers that form. Like, you know, it looks like a arboreal owl, like one you'd see up in the, you know, alpine forests above. It's bigger than most of the owls that you've seen out and around. So as Raffles gets closer to it, that like irritated look will take over, and you'll get like the wings will come up a little. Like if Raffles is coming right up to it.
No, if it looks aggressive, he's not going to fuck with it. But he was
it's at least looking like annoyed / like, is this worth it to make it a snack? I mean, it's a weasel. It's a big owl. You brought it. It's like you brought it dinner. You brought it with this food familiar.
It's like Raffles knows I can cast touch spells through him. So
yes.
When it bites, it really has a bite.
You've opened the door, so the door to this room comes from the one behind you. Yeah, which is has the large archway outside. So if the door remains open, there's a little pool of sunlight at the front of this room. So you guys are using dark vision, and your perception roll was very high, so you can especially those of you that 120 feet. You've got a good sense of what's in the room. There is also a pool of sunlight at the beginning of the room, but it's not super bright because it is coming from the large room and around those mounds of bones. But this creature is beyond that, 3/4
Yeah,
of the
just
way.
fucking grip it and rip it, baby.
I'm looking at it.
That down, dude. Yeah, dude, crack one for the big
I'm looking
boy.
at it right now, thinking to myself, it's an animal. This is not what we're worried about cleaning out in order to bring back the golden dragon. Why don't we just scare it out the door on the way back? We don't even need to worry about it right now. Maybe it'll even fly its way out if we just leave the door open and walk by it. Maybe it'll be spooked enough, it'll just fuck off all on its own.
Let's go to the second floor. Yeah.
I do hate to be, but it looks like an owl.
That was what my perception check told me.
Mm-hmm.
It's an animal as far as I'm concerned. I just want to walk by it.
Can I get an investigate check?
Sure. Okay. With investigation, what is it that you're trying to figure out? If you're deciding whether this is an actual owl, what is it that you're looking for?
I'm looking to see if it's a real live owl, to see if it's a familiar or if it's something that's shape changed.
Okay.
Do you want investigate or arcane? That's up to you.
Let's start with investigate.
I was going to say, here, they're the same number for me, so you can decide what I roll.
Then I would actually go ahead and use arcane.
24.
Okay.
I went to college.
Yeah, and you know what familiars look like. Yeah. Okay, so this is bigger than an owl of this type you would expect to be. So if it's a familiar, okay, it's possible for, but usually familiars are still this shape and size of the animal it's supposed to be. All right, so at the very least, it's a little bit there's an awkwardness to the fact that when the weasel came at it and when you all made noise to open the door, it sat there when it has ways of egress out of this room without having to do anything else. Also, the fact that it's living behind a locked door in a catacomb where if something has made it out here, it was 5 years ago in humanoid. Seems like a strange sort of circumstances that this thing would be live and be a natural owl.
Valid.
So if you had to guess, definitely not a real owl, but you're not sure arcane-wise exactly what, like, creature this would be.
Okay, so Vidania is trying to go through the room. That Vera is going behind her. We have this whole thing where the person in armor is in front, and the tiny person with the staff sticking out walking directly behind. And I'm like, I don't think that's an owl.
Well, okay, well, if we stand still for a second, then what do we think it is? Because that's what it looks like.
I didn't take detect magic, so fuck if I know.
You guys are in the room, yeah?
So I'm pulling my sword out at this point. Yeah, we're going in the room. We need to go forward.
And
we've got a job to do.
Limestone resonance of sound means that, like, all of this is not just being heard by the being; it's being, like, perfectly perceived.
Owls don't have that good a hearing.
Yeah, right. God, that's not a thing that they have. Definitely.
Who?
Yeah, who me?
Are you?
Yeah, and especially with because its perception is also, like, real good. So it knew you were coming in here. At the suspicion that it's not an owl, that, like, wing that was partly up from the, like, disturbance that Raffles caused is going to make a cracking sound and extend past, like, the wingspan of what even this large owl would. So the feathers kind of thin out in a way that it doesn't have the same, like, sweeping shape of a wing now. It has, like, the pinion feathers that form the very end of the wing extend and morph almost into the shape of a hand, like the 5 of them together, and sharpen toward the end. And it will sink those into, like, the marble of the bench next to it, as what had been a wing forms a much more arm-like structure. Like, the musculature fills out, and, like, I mean, a wing is basically a hand, right? So, like, as those bones extend, the rest of it extends into an arm. And it's, like, clawed foot. And I mean, like, owls have kind of ridiculous legs underneath their feathers anyway, but it's going to, like, stick out a leg, and the same thing. Like, that's going to extend to the talons, forming a much more, like, basis foot of something that's heavier, and the rest of the leg building on musculature to look vaguely humanoid. But as it, like, stretches and moves, it's now much bigger.
Vera is terrified and looking around everywhere, and she's trying real hard not to just blow this up.
Yeah, its
what
head
the
enlarges.
Fuck is wrong with this place?
its head enlarges, but it stays as an owl head, so feathered, beak, everything, and the rest of the body stays mostly covered in feathers. But it has the really, like, fine feather covering over most of what is now forming, like, an actual torso and hips and long legs and arms. And it will, like, cock its head in that very, like, owl listening at a different direction way, and say out loud, in this very hissing version of common, looks like an owl. And it'll look at you in that, like, lovely unblinking owl way, with like, particular focus on Vera and Vidania, because you guys are sort of towards the front of the marching order. But Vidania, it's going to give you that, like, that feeling through your chest now that what you're dealing with is a particular, hated enemy.
Oh no, it's an owl demon.
Fuck this thing. Fuck this thing to the 9 hells and back. Fuck this thing. And she is going into the next best thing to a barbarian rage, despite not having that. Sword is out, and fuck all restraint. Charge?
Cool. Okay. Obviously, we're going to be rolling some initiative, but because you are aware and perceiving of this, and also Vidania, it's like kind of your like favored enemy in a way. I'm gonna give you advantage on your initiative roll on this one.
Oh, cool.
Because yeah, why not?
Do I get that too?
So I'm gonna. Sure.
Oh, never mind. I don't think I need it.
I was gonna say I rolled a 11 on a d20, so sure. Okay.
Just barely, yeah.
Would anyone, while we are doing this, does anyone now want to see if they know anything about?
Don't care.
I already did mine.
Yeah.
I got a sense it was a demon. That's all that matters.
I will. Would it be like an Arcana check?
So you could do same thing. You guys are like reasonably well traveled, so I would go with like Arcana or religion or history. Could be. I would make a. Could make a reasonable argument for learning about something like this.
I think Arcana's probably going to be my best roll, so I'll take a crack at it. Nope.
That was fast.
Nope. That's an 8.
Okay. So, and which you were rolling Arcana?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, it's demonic. Great. So you're going to imagine that like it probably speaks Abyssal. It's.
I understand that.
Some of the things that you'd expect from demons. Maybe you'll it can be an owl, so it can probably fly. We heard that before. That's a thing. Definitely demon. Owl demon is maybe not from the part of the world that you grew up in, but you've been to places. People have talked about owls as omens of death and stuff. So maybe there, that's a. But yeah, we know some stuff about demons. Probably can see in the dark. Yeah. Yep.
Cool.
Where is my thing? Okay.
It's living. It's a demon. I would like to change that first part.
Okay.
That's what I need to know.
So, in the interest of writing us down the right way, did anyone have an initiative roll over 20?
23.
Cool.
Statistically impossible for me to get above 20 other than rolling a crit, and I don't even know that counts with a -1 initiative.
Oh, no.
All right. Between 20 and 15?
Your proficiency.
19.
Great. Okay.
Oh! Welcome to I don't really play 5th ed.
It's a
I didn't realize the proficiency bonus got added to initiative too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Well, then +2 gets me a 19.
Literally can't have a negative initiative.
Okay.
Well, thank you for that correction. I realized earlier I wasn't even adding my proficiency bonus to my
19,
attacks.
I'm going to suspect that Dirthy has the higher dexterity, so we're going to go. Yeah. Okay. All right, which means that Timsa, you have to be our rounding out the.
I have a 12.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. So Vera is actually going to go first, and Dirthy, you're kind of on deck. You're the next one, sort of, after the thing.
All right. So I saw that this thing started doing weird shit, and I just on edge and want to blow shit up and don't know what to do, and then my meat shield charges it. I'm like, problem solved. And those feathers look flammable. I'm gonna throw a chromatic orb of fire at it.
Okay.
Ooh. Well, it's not a crit, but 24.
Okay.
I like this red die. You're gonna stay over here.
You're gonna sit next to me. 24 will hit it, definitely.
All right, that is 3d8 fire. That is going to be 3. As I immediately throw my die on the floor. 11. Nice. 15 fire damage.
Okay. All right. So your chromatic orb, I think I actually kind of accidentally narrated part of that for you last time. Yes, what does it look like?
It is a little tiny fireball, but it comes out the end of my staff and just wah! And it goes very, very fast. Surprisingly fast for how small I am.
Sorry, it comes out of your staff and it
surprisingly fast. Yes.
But like what?
Just comes shooting out. Yeah.
I missed it.
Huh?
You must have it comes out of your staff like
it just comes shooting out. Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right. Anyway, so this like beam from your staff, such a classic wizard, I love it. You have a bed right over there, and you chose the dented top of a box. Okay. Intelligence. Okay. Anyway, so this beam of fire comes out, and we'll say like hits the like shoulder arm joint of this owl demon, and you can see the burn like form on this like very finely feathered, where like the like longer feathers start to form of, and it will like shift back with the impact of the fire, like searing its flesh there. Does it smell like barbecue chicken? Y'all decide. But
barbecue chicken, great. Burnt feathers, one of the worst.
Yeah, fair. Well, I mean, it's keratin. Yeah, not so good.
Yeah.
So yeah, you heard it with fire. Heard it with fire. Right. Are you moving? Are you?
If I have the option, I'm falling back because that's just no, my meat shield charged, so I'm falling back.
Okay. So we'll like say that you're sort of towards the sunlight of the room.
Well, when there are 6 columns, 3 on each side, I'm going to kind of move behind one of them.
Okay. Cool. Brain can do math. All right, great.
Well, one of my racial characteristics is actually that I can hide behind a medium-sized character, but there's nobody nearby.
I mean, okay. So the demon now with this like fire wound is not like that hurt. And it's mad now in a way where before it was, like you're interrupting and it was going to see what you're going to do in this habitat. But so it's going to, like, now that like Vidania is closing in on it, but I've got the this room is this beautiful narrow rectangle shape, right? So it's going to use that to make a like shrieking cry that lets out this wind force from its mouth. And it's not just that what you sense is like the rushing wind coming at you, but it smells of rot and decay, like all of them like mold things that you would expect would be in a catacomb that wasn't like limestone, that wasn't from bodies that had already been broken down to skeletal. All of that sense just comes with the shriek powerfully out in front of it.
Awesome.
So importantly, we know that we have my map is right here. So if you're hiding behind one of the columns,
I figured the column in the lower right.
Yeah. In the right?
Lower right.
Okay. So importantly, Durthy and Timsa, as you were behind Vidania and you're behind Vera from when they came in, where do you place yourselves in the room?
There's a lot of screaming.
I think I will start moving over to trying to circle towards the ool from the left.
Okay. All right. So the fiend right now is sort of the not 3/4, we'll say 2/3 of the way through the room on the eastern side. So Vidania's right up close. Vera is on that side of the room, but behind a column. So I have you like kind of on the opposite side. The sunshine comes in about the first third of the room. If that.
Okay.
Changes where you're sitting yourself. You guys all have dark vision, so I don't know if you care, but
so actually, so what? The Vidania is right next to it. Is that correct? Okay, I'm actually so
it's a
I'm
short
actually
enough room that any kind of charge. Yeah,
that's fine. I am actually going to be. I'm going to start circling. Actually, towards it, so that I'm coming at it from roughly the same angle as Vidania.
Okay. All right. So it's eastern side of the room.
Eastern side of the room. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And Dorothy.
I think just moving towards the columns on the left side.
Okay. All right.
To take some cover.
Dorothy is probably going to be the only one that doesn't get in the sort of like direct like line of this wind as it shrieks out of its mouth towards the open door, which means that you guys are going to do a Constitution saving throw for me.
Cool.
What did you say?
Because this rot hits you, and like that urge to like vomit, cough, all of it all at once. And
what did you say?
13 Constitution saving throw. DC 13.
What characters did you say?
Everyone but Dorothy.
Okay.
19.
15.
14 for me.
Okay, great. All right, so this wind, this cold, absolutely like disgusting wind of decay that streams past you, like it's vile, but you're able to like turn your face, close your mouth, like get over that immediate urge to like, you know, vomit and fall down in exhaustion. Yeah. Okay, so it's going to also then try and talon strike at Vidania because you are close to it now. That's a 20, actually. So I imagine that is gonna like it's a 26 to hit, so you know it's fine. Okay. And
was it a nat 20?
Yes.
Oh, well, then let's just go ahead and make it re-roll that. Because that's once a combat.
Yeah.
This feels like the right time.
Feels like a good time to make that happen.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Early and often, every fight. There we go.
Great. Okay, so this one wasn't a nat 20, but it is a 21 to hit, so it's still going to hit you.
It still hits me, but let's avoid the crit.
Yes. Okay. And I want... okay. Like, it could have done better. All right, so it's going to hit you for some piercing damage, and that's only a 7 piercing damage of the talons, but the place where it rakes across your skin and your armor is also going to like bubble and like start to turn that like lovely sickly green of a like healing bruise, and you're also going to take 14 poison damage.
Ow.
So 21
total? Okay.
It's 21 total, 14 from poison, and 7 from slashing.
All right. 30 life
or piercing. Left. Excuse me, not slashing, piercing.
All right. This is about to be fun when it gets to me, but I think you said Dorothy was before me.
Yeah, Dorothy is going to go, and then it's you.
So I think Dorothy is going to switch from their short sword to their bow and go for arrows instead.
All right. Shoot the owl. Owl fiend thing.
Except they are probably not going to do that because that is a 13.
No, 13 will hit.
Awesome.
Ooh.
All right, that'll be 7 points of piercing damage.
Cool. All right.
And if I need to roll now for stealth, Dorothy is also going to hide and try to take some cover behind the columns.
Okay. All right.
And
go ahead and
roll
roll stealth with that one. I mean, you're a deep gnome and they're made out of marble, so I feel like that means that you get advantage on this.
I don't even need it. I got a 24.
Okay. All right. Delightful. Okay. So yeah, the like you almost like blend into the column in such a way that like goodness, the tone of your skin, hasn't that always resembled like fine marble anyway? Especially in the grayness of the dark. It's fine. Yeah. Okay. Great. So hidden and stealthed away. Nicely done. Okay. Which means that Vidania, you are able
So
to exact
first,
some annoyance. Go ahead.
first, as I charged in, I had to be yelling the name of my lost lover. Leroy Hoskin! I am now going to proceed to pop multiple abilities because fuck all demons. So I am going to use Action Surge, which gives me one additional action this round. I am going to use Fighting Spirit, which is a samurai ability, which is a bonus action. Lets me get advantage all attack rolls and gain 5 temporary hit points. So I am making 3 attacks with advantage. Fuck this thing.
Amazing.
Perfect.
This is the let's go.
Elegantly done.
All right, that is a 16 with the first one, which based on a 13 hitting earlier.
Yep.
This is going to do 9 points of damage.
Okay.
Second attack is better than that, 23. And that's going to do 13 points of damage. And final attack, I rolled an 18, so that's a nice solid 25 for an additional 9 points of damage.
Nice. Okay, so a total of 31?
I don't know. I wasn't doing the math during that. I was just
Total of
swinging away.
31.
You're a math teacher.
I'm counting. I said total of 31. 9 and 9 and 13. Okay.
There we go.
Thanks. All right, and all of that is flashing. Right?
Actually, yep.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
Yep.
All right. So the slash marks that you carve across its body leave those like angry red streaks that then just start dripping this more oxidized, like really like almost purpley red blood down the surface of its feathers across its body. It has done a lot of damage in one, and it lets out another like pained shriek with that extra like sizzle of crackling abyssal sound into its like you're not totally sure, but it might have just cursed you in abyssal.
I would know, actually. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No. It wasn't expecting. So it makes a derogatory term about like half elves being some sort of like inelegant mudblood righteous hero situation.
Well, I speak back to it with in abyssal. You the feathered piece of shit. I am going to rip you apart.
I love it. Okay. Yeah, it is badly damaged from like the 3 slashing attacks all across its body, and it is now also mad. And like plus it didn't look like any of you got sick from scream, so yeah. Okay, wonderful.
Oh, and it moves 10 feet less also because slasher once per turn if I hit it. So I have limited its movement speed. I cut its leg somewhere in those 3 slashes. So.
Yeah, like a nice, tendon somewhere got, yeah. Okay,
yeah.
Timsa,
yeah.
What are you?
All right, so how is the thing looking at this point?
It is looking like it's up and it's angry, but it is badly damaged.
Okay, and so at this point, so has Vidania taken a reaction yet this round?
Nope.
No, I don't think so.
Nope. Okay, in that case, I am going to get up to within about 15 feet. Yeah, move up to within about 15 feet of it. Sort of coming up at it from the same direction, the same trajectory that Vidania is facing it. And I'm going to cast Lightning Lure.
Okay.
It needs to make a strength saving throw, DC 14.
Okay. It won't make that.
In that case, it is pulled 10 feet towards me.
Okay.
Which
so now you're within melee range, right?
Yes,
Because
and
now it's
also,
5.
importantly,
It's
it
coming
should-
out of Vidania's, so she can.
exactly.
Right. Okay.
Yay,
Alright.
attacks of opportunity! And also
That's the
my
big
attack
one.
rolls have advantage for the turn. So we are still in the same round. Alright, that's going to become a nice solid 18 to hit.
18 will hit it.
And another 13 damage.
Okay. All right.
Thank
so,
you.
Like, as
Let me
it's-
beat on my hated
as
enemy.
it's pulled past you, it's like you get like a nice slice across both of the shoulder blades, which like causes it to let out one of those like agonizing, like bird of prey screeches as it comes hurtling past you and closer to Timsa.
And then,
Okay.
so once it finishes its movement within 5 feet of me. At that
Yep.
point, it takes 2d8 lightning damage. So 11 lightning damage.
Cool.
And still standing at this point?
It is barely standing. Like the sizzle of the lightning through its body, like added that extra injury to insult from getting hit by Vidania as it came through. So the crackle and sizzle of its body with all of like the dripping blood out of it, like it's struggling to catch a good breath at this point.
All right, I'm debating if it's worth it to activate my rage for the extra wild magic effect or not. You know what?
Did
Why
cause
not?
some very
It's fine. You know
beautiful
what?
plant life to grow
Fine.
in that corpse room.
Bonus action rage. Give me a D8 roll, and I'll tell you what my wild surge does.
Let's see what it
Get
does.
some.
It's a D8, yes?
D8, yeah.
Yeah. 8.
8. A bolt of light shoots from my chest. Another creature of my choice that I can see within 30 feet must succeed on a Constitution saving throw or take 1d6 radiant damage and be blinded until the start of my next turn.
Radiant specifically. Okay.
Yes. So Constitution saving throw. That is going to be a DC 13 saving throw.
Constitution saving throw. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. Oh, those are not the ones that I wanted to roll. That's the one I wanted to roll. Okay. Yeah, no, it's going to make that.
Okay.
Sorry.
In that case,
it just so happens that Constitution is a thing it's very good at. Specifically
that's totally fine. I also get to use this ability on each of my subsequent turns as a bonus action.
Cool. Okay. Nice. The yeah. I feel like this is probably a terrible, but it's like you're a Care Bear for a little bit. Right?
Yep.
That was the image in my head as well.
It does.
Okay.
It does specify the chest.
Like you have a
Very
particular
specific.
emblem on your armor there. That like is it a smiley face coming out of the clouds? Who knows? And it's radiant. Yeah. Okay. So
Yep.
it doesn't like the light, but it wasn't hurt by it.
Cool. Yeah, so I get to do that on each of my turns as a bonus action, and I'm raging.
At least this time, it wasn't hurt.
I'm
by
so mad about it.
it. Great, and it's right up next to you.
Mhm.
Okay, which means that Vera, we're back to you, I believe.
Let's see.
Finish him.
I threw that firebolt at it and it hurt. And I could step that up, but I see it's on the ropes. I'm gonna stick with my firebolt. It's tried and true.
No, what'd you roll?
That's a 2. I got a 10.
A 10 will not hit it.
Okay.
It got yanked so forcibly through the your aim was a little
Still screaming
yes.
the entire time from the transforming owl.
But it now gets to go. So it is going to attack Timsa because now Timsa is the thing that is.
Sorry.
Okay. So it is going to slash at you with its talons. So even though it's not in the greatest of conditions, it's able to flap and lifts itself in a way that doesn't make sense for the amount of density to its body now. So lift a little bit off and then do basically a foot. So it has two slashing talon attacks at you. Adding a thing. Where's my thing? Okay. 24 to hit with the first one.
That will hit.
And 19 to hit with the second one.
That will also hit.
Okay. All right. Great. Not great, but it's fine. Okay, so it's going to slash at you. Okay, the first one does 9 points of slashing damage.
Okay.
The second one also does 9 points of slashing damage.
Cool.
But then it also has...
And here comes the poison.
Okay.
So each of those...
The slashing doesn't matter as much to me because while I'm raging, I resist that, so...
Okay, all right, cool. All right. So 4 effectively for each of those.
Yep.
Or do you resist it completely?
It's resistance, not immunity.
Okay.
Yeah, so I just at all of your standard physical damage, I only take half.
Okay, and it will be 12 poison from the first one.
I don't resist that.
Ooh,
and 11 poison from the second one.
I don't resist that either.
So these like twin slashes across the core of your body will have that same like
11 you said for the second one?
Yeah, 12 and then 11.
Cool.
Sorry.
Well, I am still standing. There is that.
Good. Okay. Yes, and that's what it will do in this turn. That like angry, like hissing rage through its beak and lift up and slash its talons across your body. And when it lands back from that little move, you can tell like the energy that it used cost it. All right, which means that Dirthy, you are up.
So actually, I think Dirthy is going to hold their action and say, Vidania, finish it.
With pleasure. Thank you.
All right.
So, while yelling, "Don't you turn your back on me!" I'm going to use Fighting Spirit again because it's a fucking
Really
demon
try.
and everything is going into it.
Cool.
I have 3 uses of this. I'm burning 2 of them on this guy. I don't care. 2 attacks because I don't get my extra this round.
Okay.
19 becomes 26 on the first attack.
To hit it, or is that damage?
That's the hit.
Okay. Yeah,
and the second one hits a 19. So first one's damage is 7.
Yeah, you don't even need to hit it again. First one.
But I do anyways.
Yeah, great. Yeah. It turns it into terrible poultry mincemeat.
You think I stop hitting it after 2 swings? Someone's going to have to pull me off of this. Oh, no. That's literally what's going on is I am hacking and slashing at this thing long after we know it's done. It is not only not moving, it is in pieces.
These terrible, sharp, like, gray-black feathers are just, like, springing off to the sides. What's the killing blow? Like, what does it look like when Vidania takes this? I mean, afterward, I imagine it's almost just gleeful destruction. Like, is it satisfaction? Yeah, okay.
Oh no, she is not feeling any satisfaction at the end of it. It's literally just like she's in a lather and like, good. Coming out of the rage this is the uncontrollable revenge complex that all of you have dealt with now since Leroy's passing. Yes, that is now canon.
Dirthy knew. Yeah. So you just make
I appreciate that.
terrible mincemeat of this like demonic form.
Yes, that's right. Good. Let it out, just like I showed you. Yes.
Raffles at this point is just like sitting right there. If he had a bowl of popcorn while he watches his natural enemy get destroyed, he'd be ecstatic.
Now that the owl is in pieces, deep breath. My sensei says I need to calm down. My sensei always says I need to calm down. And she kneels down on the ground and starts trying to fool everyone with meditating. It's not working.
Although that all being said, I don't suppose that we could take a little nap.
A short rest? do you need a short rest over there? You don't seem to be doing so good.
I feel sleepy.
I'm gonna use my second wind ability and heal myself if we're getting ready to do a rest, because I may as well use it. Once per rest, I heal. And we don't have a fucking healer.
I wish I had any beneficial spells, but I have a very specific spell list, and helping is not one of them.
So as I said, this room has two, like a door straight ahead and then sort of two arch doors to the side. You can take a minute to see if you see anything coming at you. But if you would like to take a short rest here, this room doesn't have anything else in it living. You guys both rolled fantastically for perception, but also can see the whole darn thing. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Taking a check around, taking a short rest, and keeping an eye out. The ferret is doing laps listening.
I'm just gonna note, I deeply appreciate how good we were at eviscerating a demon.
Absolutely.
It was lovely.
You had one task coming into this dungeon, and you did it.
It's amazing.
So you also have some things that you will notice as
we should loot this, shouldn't we?
walk around. Yeah. You are, so the things that probably you notice first in walking around. So the owl, when it was still in owl form, was perched on this marble bench. Underneath the marble bench, you notice another of those statuettes. That like carnelian little like cubey blocky statuette of a bull. So there's another one of those, same design, same material, heavier weight to it. And then there's a couple of other little animals down there. There's a camel that's like in kind of repose, like that position that they make when they're sitting down that almost looks like a cat loaf, carved out of like a lapis lazuli kind of like blue stone. There's a little ram, like you can almost see like the details of the swirls on the side of like the fleece and the curls of its horns in like a greenish, almost like maybe a jade or a peridot kind of. It's smaller than both the camel and the bull, and it has a different weight to it. And then there's a little, like out of like a quartz thing, maybe an amethyst. It's like a purplish pinkish kind of a tone, a little goat. And they're all roughly the same size, but they have different weights to them. So you've already felt like what the bull feels like. The camel's heavier than that. The goat and the ram are both lighter than the bull and the camel. But they all have a different weight. All roughly the same size though, and all made out of these like semi-precious stones. So you now have 5 little statuettes. 2 of them are bulls, and a camel, a goat, and a ram.
We're assembling a menagerie.
I would take the bull because it matches my bowl.
Okay.
Color coordination
So
is important.
You have those. The demon would also have collected some things around the room. So there's amongst other things, a rabbit's foot, a little game piece made out of ivory. So we'll go with like it's shaped like a little castle bit. Also a fair amount of gold. There's going to be like little piles of it. So about 70 pieces in total of gold. There's a like smattering of copper, and also a smattering of silver. So like 40 pieces of silver total and 30 pieces of copper, like in little pile bits, like a bird. It found shiny stuff and kind of stuck it in piles. There's a bottle of honey and a wedge of cheese. It actually looks like it's still like edible, which is strange, but we've got cheese. There's a page torn from a spell book. So you have a like spell scroll, which if you would like to spend some time with is fine.
Wait, I'm sorry, a spell scroll?
Yeah, there's a spell scroll. There's also a like brooch set with pearls that you pick up. They're pretty. It looks like it would definitely be worth some money. And an obsidian rod that's carved along the outside. Also looks like it would just be valuable and pretty.
Interesting.
I want the chess piece to go with my dice set that I carry around with me all the time. At the very least, it's all game related.
Fair.
Nice.
What is the spell scroll?
So if you like spend some time with it, that one is a scroll of Chaos Bolt.
I don't know that one. What is that?
It's a sorcerer spell, and it's first level.
That doesn't help me at all.
No, not really.
Cool. Okay. That's just
To the internet.
I was gonna say, you could sell it later or something. Maybe you find somebody who can use it.
It's loot. What is the rod? Can we tell?
It looks like it's just like an art piece. It's an obsidian rod, so it would also break really easily. It's just pretty. It's
Okay.
if you had to guess, it's worth like 50 gold pieces or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cashy money. Yeah.
Yes. Sorry, I'm rolling the loot, guys. Some of this is going to be useful. Some of it's
Totally
not.
fair.
I'm sorry, it was Chaos Bolt.
That's nothing wrong with that.
You got a
it
fair
would
amount of
take
money. Some sparkly things. Yes.
It would take
Some
me
things
so
that-
long to describe a new spell and then memorize that spell. It's okay. I was just curious.
Yeah, I'm sitting there thinking to myself, if we had detect magic, we might know if some of this is actually more than it looks like. I know of magical rabbit's feet, but I would have no reason to investigate this in character.
Yep.
All right.
Though there is a point where it would feel very lucky taking that from a demon.
Yeah, no, I definitely feel like that ends up on your, your carriage keys, as it
That's
were.
a trophy. That's a trophy.
Yeah.
Like, even
100%.
if this wasn't lucky before, I got it off of an owl demon.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna take that rod and just stick it in the pack. Like, this looks cool. If nothing else, I'll wave it at people and they'll be scared.
Yeah, it definitely does something. Okay, so you are welcome to take short rest with whatever you want to gain back. You still have good berries. You do still have some potions, because the poison damage of that was ow.
I can gain on a short rest. I can recover spell slots equal to a combined level of half my wizard level, which is the only thing I've used so far. So I'm going to gain those back.
Feel like doing one more or not.
I reset all of my abilities and I gain back hit points to where I'm at 47 with my second wind, and I will probably go ahead and use the other charge of that now too, because even if I roll max... No, actually, if I roll max, I overcap, so I will
I was going to say,
that.
how low are you?
I'm at 47 now.
Okay.
Out of 60.
There we go.
It's like,
I'm like, there's a second piece to this equation.
Fine, yeah.
There's a second piece to this equation.
Yeah, I'm burning half my half of my hit dice. And I'm
You've still got half left.
Right, yeah. I'm gonna burn half my hit die, and that'll bring Timsa back to almost full, close enough to full.
Okay.
You want some good berries?
I do also get the spell back that I cast earlier.
Nice.
Oh yeah, warlocks on the short rest. Yeah, they get the good spell slot. Yeah.
I don't get my rages back on a short rest. I need a long rest to do that. But I do get my spell slots back on a.
You haven't used a single Eldritch Blast, have you?
I didn't. I'm a very bad warlock, guys. I didn't take Eldritch Blast.
With the Pact Blade, you don't need it.
No, honestly, and frankly, a lot of the signature warlock spells are concentration, which since I'm multi-classing with barbarian, they're just not really.
Yeah.
So it's been kind of fun looking through and being like, all right, what are the spells that I'm actually going to get utility out of? Because they're not the ones that you would normally go for as a warlock.
Yeah, that Pact Blade, once you take that, you just throw the rest of the Warlock manual out the door and you just start from scratch. Yeah.
I am actually not going to complain if we do long rest, because I do get my fighting spirit and my extra action back if we take the longer rest. We are not out of time.
Long rest throws in whether or not things that are roaming around would be able to get to you.
Too soon. Let's get to the second floor.
As you are taking this short rest, whether or not your characters thought of it, your DM is going to suggest that you take a look at that map and decide what your path is to. So on the map, you're currently in the colonnaded as room 3 on your map. as I said, there's 2 archway doorways to like the. Sorry, I feel like I'm doing the like you have exits over the wings to the right and the left. Follow the lights along the floor. So you have 2 exits that are archways. Beyond that, you'd have to actually be able to see. Your seat cushion becomes a flotation device in the event of a water level. And like you'd have to look down those hallways to get a sense of what's coming down. But on your map, you know that there's like rooms that head off towards the western side of the map, that there's like a little like branch that way. You didn't go into the second room off of the main ossuary chamber that leads into. And you have a little bit of sunlight coming in behind you. And then there's 2 rooms off to the eastern side, kind of on their own on that branch. What's also not obvious from the map is there are no other stairs indicated on the map. Right? They have the stairs down into the main entrance, but there's no other stairs on the map. And you have 2 other map levels of your dungeon. Sorry, catacombs. It's just a happy, friendly neighborhood catacombs.
That's right.
It's fine.
I'll say room 8 sure looks like it has an altar or something.
I was gonna say, room
That's
8
where I was
looking.
going.
Room 8 looks pretty fancy. I was gonna vote we start making our way over to room 8.
That was my
The
idea.
only other thing I'm going to make mention of is the entrance to room 6 had this really fancy archway with runes on it. We may want to at least take a look at that before we leave our room.
Let's pass through 6 going towards 8. I like that.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't have to go through the door, but let's see what it says,
Sure.
if we can tell.
Let's absolutely go. I'll push you through the door. No, I'm just kidding.
I've done that once already today, opened a door I did not want to open, and we saw how that turned out.
So helpfully, you guys rolled, whether you knew this or not, for the kinds of things that this dungeon would have inside of it, including that it's abandoned dragon lair. So the runes are in Draconic, and several of you, I believe, speak Draconic. As in, I think 3 of the 4 of you managed to take Draconic as a language, whether you were, which is fine. So you have runes here that are providing, it's a like greeting, a welcome, and a slight warning in Draconic. So what it's telling you basically is that if your intentions are good, that you are welcome in the lair, and this is the Ronith is the dragon, Ronith the Gracious, that you are welcome as a guest if your intentions are good, and that if you seek to do ill to the city, that like you should not enter further into the lair. Other than that, there's no like particular indication of what room 6 has in it, but it is a reasonably heavy door for 6. There, like I said, it's 2 archways out the other directions, and it is in your map. It's at least indicated that there is a door to get to 4 and a door to get to 7.
I was going to talk a bunch of shit that our intentions were absolutely not noble, but according to the dragon, we absolutely are. We're clearing the shit out so we can come home. So, yeah, we're on the same side.
I'm about to say, good? No. Not going to harm the city, yes.
Okay, so the
However,
question is,
I don't like this door.
do you want to go into 6?
I
or
want
do you
to
wanna go
investigate
down
the
hallway
door.
to 7? Okay. Other than the, actually roll for me.
You want a roll on this one. All right.
I do.
All right. Investigate. Hold on.
Now, are you the type of DM?
25? 25?
17 plus 8.
Yeah. So you get this like as you're, getting closer to it, maybe like even touching the surface of, I don't know if you would touch the surface of the door when you're investigating, but okay, as you get closer to it. And are you one of the ones that speak Draconic?
No, I am also not.
So as they're telling you about this in the runes, so you get a look at the actual runes that are like have been carved in, and there's some like inlay to it. There's almost like an abalone shell kind of inlay in the way that this is carved on the outside. It's gorgeous.
Nice.
But you're getting that like slightly sour electric taste on the tip of your tongue that there's a magic to this.
Okay.
Like there's definitely like an arcane sense. And given the way that they describe what it's saying in Draconic, your strong assumption is that if you were to like voice or have indicated that you will be bringing less than noble intentions to going further into the lair through this door, that this would hurt you if you tried to go through, or at the very least would not let you go any further.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would just tell people
that tastes like a ward to you. Like it's got that kind of like citric acidy flavor.
Popper in the back of the throat. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll just tell people.
I was imagining more of
award.
like a Sour Patch Kid just on like the tip of your tongue kind of flavor. Like it's not a bad magic, but it's definitely got some like pop roxy thing going on with
yeah,
it.
it's got the distinctive warty tang to
Yeah.
it.
And like it might hit those like muscles in the back of your jaw that feel that sour sometimes.
Yeah.
That's the taste you're getting. Yep.
Yeah. So I'll tell people this. I think this is literal, and I'll announce we're here to cleanse this place so that what was the dragon's name again?
Ronith
can
the
come back
Gracious.
and protect this town. Ronith the Gracious, and then open the door and walk through.
Okay. Great. Yeah. So
And check the ceiling, right?
And check the ceiling immediately.
Check the ceiling
Open the door.
always.
Good. Not on the ceiling, but like shambling up the hallway here, you do have something pretty fun.
Yeah.
Pretty gross. So you've taken some time, you've made a bunch of noise, and more importantly, the sounds that owl demon made were real loud. So there definitely is going to be something greeting you. And sorry, I need to actually get the description right, and I have the wrong thing up right now. Hold on one moment. So you've got this bony humanoid form with this absolutely disgusting moist gray skin and like lips that don't really exist and curve up to very, very sharp teeth and yellow eyes shambling up through. It has long needle-like fingers. And it's possible that one of you like will know what this is. So if you'd like to roll for me, I'm like Vidania probably specifically, but if you'd like to roll to know what it is.
Because we've done so well at that so far.
Insight, it would be the only thing I have a skill in that might be relevant. Otherwise, I'm probably rolling with zeros normally.
Yeah, you can still roll well. You have a knowledge of demons, I imagine, because you have a personal interest in this. So you know what? Screw it. Take some inspiration and roll it twice.
All right. Well, 17.
Okay. Yeah. No. This is definitely a fiend. It's a demon. This is a Moreshi. And it is like unsurprising that it's here, given that you've already interacted with some ghouls. Like this would be like one of the things that probably is keeping those alive because they're a little bit more intelligent but it's another demon.
I'm sitting there right now with the again, more of these mother demon. Oh my god!
You went through 6.
You know, at this point, we've established in canon that's exactly what's going to happen with my character and a recognizable demon, and you're all along for the ride. All of those eggs are going to hatch, and all the little dragons are going to come out, and somebody's going to start yelling for more dots next thing we know.
My check-in with all of you before we start this, and for those of you that are watching, in case you didn't notice, we're like at more or less the agreed upon stop time. So one, I want to make sure that everybody is okay with actually continuing the reality of going through this fight. But in terms of time and energy and if you would like a 5-minute, now might be not a terrible time to take that. But I want to make sure that everybody is okay with actually starting this combat.
Yeah.
I'm good.
We only started, what, 45 minutes late?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, but like
theme of the day. Yeah.
for me, it's not that late. For y'all, it is later.
Saturday night, I'm a banker. I have nothing tomorrow. So,
It's 10 o'clock. If you think I'm asleep before midnight, you do not understand my schedule.
I don't understand, but also some of us are lamer than that and definitely don't go to bed at midnight ever. Yes, I'm old.
I will
and boring.
be honest and say I don't know how much longer I'll make it after this fight, but I
Great.
think I can make it through.
Okay. All right. Does anyone want like a 2-minute, or are we okay to roll initiative and get started?
yes.
Yep, I'm good with whatever.
All right. Wunderbar. All right. Because yes, the noises that you heard and the direction that you're going, or noises that you were making, the direction that you were going, means that you have encountered this Moreji. It is it's the shepherd of the ghouls that you encountered, and it is absolutely foul.
As demons are.
As one does, yes.
Okay.
Welcome to my playground, where all these things become the toys that I will
Okay.
have
Did
fun with.
anyone roll a 20 or above?
Oh, are we rolling initiative?
Yes, please.
Missed that completely. Oh, that's 23.
I was gonna say as he rolls.
I was gonna say it's the only thing I've been able to roll tonight is initiative.
All right, great. From 20 to 15. Okay. Sorry, Timson.
A 19 for me.
Okay, and Vidania.
16.
All right, Dorothy.
11.
Was that a 2 rolled or something?
No, it was like a 3.
Okay. I'm like, you have Dex.
I do.
I don't. What's
Okay,
going on
the
here?
Moreji also rolled really badly, actually. All right. So yes. Okay, so Vera, you're going to be top of the order, then Timsha, then Vidania, then Dorothy, then the creature. So we Vera. So you guys are in room 6.
Not all
And
of us.
it's not a large space, so if you're entering into the door, like all of you crowding in, this thing is going to be right at that like confluence of where the hallway and room 6 meet each other. I don't really know where room 6 ends. It's like at the Tetris piece edge of
I don't believe I went through the door. Nobody else did.
I was gonna say it's possible that everyone else is still technically behind you. So if you wanna
the first thing I'm gonna do is back through the door and tell them bring it through the ward and shout, "Come at me, motherfucker!" and shoot it.
Great. The other option that I want to make sure that you guys are aware of is that you could go the other direction through that arched door if you wanted to go the other way, because that's an archway.
Which
All
other
right,
door?
So
to the east or the west?
Out of 3 towards 7.
Okay.
The Moreji is right at the entrance to, so like you would have, like if you enter into 6, it will be in your sight, but you could head down the other hallway that way. And that's just an archway, so it could head that way too if it wanted to.
I want to go through 6. I don't know about anybody else, but yeah, I would back out of the door and tell it, bring it through the ward, and then I'm going to shoot the son of a bitch.
Great. All right, go ahead and shoot it.
Speaking of shooting it, let's look at our spells.
You also have a wand of lightning bolt.
We do have a rod of lightning bolt. I have 3 level 3 spell slots for lightning bolt.
Somebody else.
What? They aren't fireball?
Somebody else could have held the wand of lightning bolt.
I did not take the rod of lightning bolt. I thought I made that clear at the beginning.
Right.
Whoever says
that they have the wand of lightning bolt has the wand of lightning bolt.
Yes, but I do not. I am going to. I have so many AoEs. I didn't spend a lot on single targets. All right.
You are going first.
I'm going to spend a Scorching Ray at it, which is 3 rays that I can spend on a single target, 2d6 damage per ray of fire.
Great,
so,
you got to hit it first.
Yes. Roll number 1. Behind the things. Okay, that's a non-natural 20.
Okay. Dirty 20 hits.
5 fire
Does not.
damage.
Oh, sorry, damage? Okay.
Yes.
Sorry, we're not rolling hit,
I
and
was
then
gonna
damage,
say,
damage.
5 damage did nothing. I'll stop rolling.
No, 5 damage does something.
Okay.
Not as much as it should, but it does.
All right. 14 to hit.
14 does not hit.
Okay. Okay. Third attack. That is a 25 to hit.
25 will hit.
4. That's 10 fire damage.
Okay. All right, so same thing. The fire hits it. It had that like a little bit of fizzle effect that you're like, you know that it didn't do as much damage as it normally would, but it does still hit it. So you get a nice like lovely crackle, and there's this like release of smell of like moldy paper burning. Isn't that great?
Okay. So I will back up and specifically to Vitania be like, bring it through the ward.
Okay.
I didn't want to go through that anyway.
So it's Tim's go is our next in the round.
Okay. Germain to Vera's point. So if I were to stand, let's say, 5 feet outside of the ward, how far away is the demon from me?
Let me count. It would be about 25 feet from me.
Okay, so
this isn't a big room.
So a little too far for me to be able to lightning lure it through the ward.
Yeah, it's in this hallway piece between 6 and 7.
Yeah.
Because like, it was coming on up for you.
Cool. So
if you're outside of it, well, if you go the other direction, hold on, 1, 2. No, it's the same for the other direction.
Okay. All right. And fire did not seem to do a huge amount to it.
Didn't do as much as it should.
As it should.
But it did hurt it.
It hurt it a little. Yeah.
Yeah. Just taking.
You smelled it. It wasn't great.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't love that. And it's all right. Yeah. And it's just the one. Yeah.
Yeah. So you have seen one so far.
All right. So I think in that case, what I am going to do is it's probably going to, yeah, well, you know what? I'm going to go for it. I am going to cast Armor of Agathis on myself with a 3rd level slot.
Cool.
So boosting my hit points and then potentially giving it damage if it hits me. And I'm going to run up in front of it and I'll rage. A rage is a bonus action. That also, if you want to roll a d8, activates my Wild Magic Surge.
Excellent.
We
my
love it.
Important question, just for where we're lining up other people: are you going to head through the warded door, or are you going to head down the hallway to the east?
I will take the most direct path between me and the creature.
They're kind of the same. Well, like, I mean, Vera's in the way if you go straight forward, so maybe it would be the other direction.
I guess the other direction then.
Yeah. Okay. So you're going down the hallway to this thing. There's only an archway. You don't even have to go through a door.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Okay. So let's figure out what happens with the wild magic. Okay. D8. 6.
All right. So until my rage ends, I am surrounded by multicolored protective lights, giving me a +1 bonus to AC. And while within 10 feet of you, your allies gain the same bonus.
Oh, nice.
Ooh, pretty. Okay. That's delightful. What do your little lights look like?
Multicolored protective. I am seeing. I think that they're emanating from the seams of his clothing and the scaled frills on his head.
Okay.
Love
I love
it.
it. Okay.
Frills are important. Yeah.
Max Fabulous.
It was like it's like you like, excuse me, I'm flipping the like Elton John switch on the screen. Like, woo. Yeah, awesome.
And so
Okay.
and so I'm basically on the other side of this thing. So he said what Vero was also basically right in front of it.
No, I was on this
No.
side of the door saying, "Bring
okay.
it over
Yeah,
here."
you just
Okay.
have to go like
Gotcha. Okay.
basically.
I was just trying to
around
figure out
her
if
own
anybody
door.
was within 10 feet of me that it also gave them.
No, she wouldn't be within 10 feet of you. So
Okay.
if somebody else gets closer,
Cool. Sounds
probably
good.
like
All
Vidania,
right.
probably. Who is up next?
Sounds
Okay.
good.
I really didn't want to go through the door, but clearly at this point, we're taking the fight to it rather than bringing it to us. So, yeah, I'm going to go around also in the same direction. I really don't want to go through that door, just in case it's actually talking about good, because I'm not entirely sure about my own motivations here.
Okay.
I'm
Yes.
hell-bent on revenge. You think I chose good alignment?
At
But
least
your intentions towards the city are probably
I'm not chancing this.
Okay.
I'm not chancing this. There's a open hallway that I just watched a friend go down.
Great.
And then
All right. Yep.
at least Vidania has the introspection to know that.
Yes.
So yeah, this shouldn't be a surprise because these things reset with a short rest. Here we go again. 3 attacks with advantage. Actually, I'll amend that. Fighting Spirit only resets after a long rest, but I had 1 charge of it left. It's a fucking demon. Let's go.
Yep.
So, first attack.
This is impossible, even grosser than the last one. Nightmare fuel, but this one's also like just like, ew. Yeah.
So, that would be a 26 on the first attack.
26 will hit.
The second attack will be a nat 20.
Okay,
So
great.
Crit. Which also means that it gets disadvantages on all attacks this round because of my slasher ability.
Nice. Okay.
And I rolled another 26 because I got 19, 20, 19 on those attack rolls because I fucking hate demons.
Awesome.
Amazing.
All of those will hit, and one of them is a crit. Let's do it.
All right, so first one, 9 plus 4 is 13. Second
Okay.
attack is the crit.
And all of these are slashing, yes?
Yes.
Okay.
I have a short sword that does piercing, and otherwise everything I have is a slashing weapon.
Okay. All right,
Actually,
and I'm sorry,
excuse
read
me,
me
I
the
don't
number
know.
one more time.
13 on the first one.
Okay.
Crits are still, you roll the die, you add the modifier, and then you double, right?
Yep.
Since already establishing 5th ed, I haven't really read all the new rules. So that would be an 11 doubled for 22.
Okay.
And then 8 for the last one.
Okay. All right. The slashing definitely, and like especially that crit hit absolutely hurts it. But in the way that this like diseased like flesh of decay and death is not normal flesh, where you slash it, it almost seals back together a little, the way that you would expect if you like cut through something that's made of like silicone, or like it's got a like a gelatinousness to it almost that makes it like heal up a little. But you did like a sizable amount of like Snicker snack to this. It's just it's not
it's a
as much
Vorpal sword now.
The same way that you would expect it should have hit is not like that. Even dragging your sword through it feels a little bit like you had to put not effort, but like you're cutting through something that has a viscosity to it that normal flesh doesn't, or normal
What
living,
else is
non-diseased,
samurai to do?
non-demonic flesh does. So you still did, some lovely damage, but it is not as much as you would have hoped for that like beautiful set of cuts.
What else is a samurai to do but hack, slash, and continue hacking and slashing?
Calligraphy, meditation.
Yes, I can
Tea
do
ceremony.
those things
Okay.
too, but
Yes.
however, I can persuade very well. Do you think I could persuade it to do something?
Probably not. No.
I didn't think so. I
All
can
right,
persuade it to go
wonderful.
fuck itself.
All right. Yeah. Well, and I'm sorry. Was that not the argument that you just presented so eloquently?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, thoroughly and with emphasis.
Beautiful. Dorothy, it is your. I'm sorry. Are you going to move or like now? exactly where you want to be, a kind of figure?
I think so. I think they're going to stay close to the door going into room 6 and
Okay.
shoot through the doorway.
Okay.
So bring
All right.
out their bow again, but not crossing that threshold because they're pretty sure like it's not going to negatively affect them in terms of the ward. They're not completely certain, so they're just keeping their distance. And they probably will not hit because that is a 12.
No. So the shot's gonna go wide. It's not gonna hit with the bow. For that one. Okay, but we have where you are. You've gone through the ward, so you're kind of near Vera right now.
Not through the ward, but like
just in it.
Okay. Like the ward's here. They're here.
You're like that like tingle of magic starts to but it doesn't feel burny or anything. Like if you were a kid like licking a battery kind of a deal. Like it's like like it tickles a little, but it doesn't hurt. It doesn't feel like it's gonna hurt you if you go through. Like from what they told you, also this was a gold dragon, so like greed isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's you don't mean damage to the city probably. So yeah,
that's fair.
All right. So
work for money, you say?
Shiny things? What? Like you fit right in. Great. Okay. It is now going to be doing some disadvantaged stuff because of Vidania's work on it, which is delightful. Okay, so it is going to try to bite and claw at some people. Let's attempt to bite Timsa and see how we do.
Do it.
Okay, and that's a 15 to hit.
It does not hit.
Okay, so the bite does not hit on, and then it's going to attempt to claw Vidania. Yep. This is what you get for rolling physical dice. Yeah, that one's definitely not going to hit because that was a 1, right? So the worst of those. Claw does not quite reach you, so it's this switching between two different enemies now, also with this light that's emitting out of both of you, making you look fantastically heroic and also fabulous. That it doesn't enjoy that light but doesn't connect with either one of its attacks. And I think that's all it's going to be able to do right now, except be angry at y'all. Great. All right, Vera, back to you.
All right, so this thing is angry, thoroughly mad at us. Doesn't look very hurt.
No, it's hurt, but it doesn't look haggard yet.
Okay.
You've done something to it.
Okay.
I would hope so.
Do I still have line of sight on it?
Yes. If you're in 6 and you're going straight down, you now are also looking at the, fantastic light show that is Timsa and Vidania. But
your plan was a good one. It was not happening.
Yeah, that's fine. It's standing at that corridors. Really.
Like a corona, that lizard folk frill going on. A nimbus, as it were. Yeah. Okay.
I'm going to throw a chromatic orb of thunder at it. See how this goes. Using a level 2 spell slot. That's a 19 to hit.
19 will hit.
Okay. That is 4d8 thunder. 5, 10, 11, 17 thunder damage.
Cool. The concussive hit of the thunder you see shakes its body, and that radiating sound that we all hear doesn't hurt the rest of us, but you can see it rack the brain of this creature, and it that definitely did damage.
Nice.
Yes. So you can see the the pressure wave of force rack through its body as it receives that hit.
Nice.
Cool. All right. Doing anything else with your moving or?
Nope, that's it.
Nope. All right, cool. All right, Timsa.
All right. Well, at this point, I am just going to be raging out.
With those lights. Yeah, you are.
Yep, Raven with the pack blade. First one got a 12 to hit.
12 will not hit.
That hit. Second one got a 20 to hit.
Will hit?
Non-natural.
Okay, dirty 20 will hit. Yep.
Yep. All right. So that is going to be. So that's going to be 11 magical slashing, plus 3 fire.
Okay. All right. Yeah, so the magical slashing does like a more clean cut through the flesh than, like I mentioned, you like get it's like like that like what might have been at some point like a form that held some muscle, but like the fact that this is decaying, like, and the effect of gravity even on its like dynamic body, like it's got more mass in like its thighs and its hips, etc., than it does in its shoulders. Like, and just everything sort of sags off of the bone structure holding it. So like slashing through like was like the thigh of this, like the muscle of it, just causes a little bit more impact to the flesh than where Vidania hit it with her like perfectly precise like body cuts that happen with that katana. So it hits it. The fire, same thing, like kind of fizzles in the flesh because of just like that like decaying matter burning off. It smells disgusting when you hit it with fire. And up close, it's even worse, if anything.
I'm sorry, I can't turn it off.
But, yeah, the magical slashing does some bits to it, and it now looks like the cuts that have happened are causing it some real hurt to be holding itself in combat ready pose. All right. So, and we'll figure out about rage with. Okay, Vidania next.
I'm all out of tricks, so 2 attacks.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, only 2. Yeah.
17 to hit on the first.
17 will hit.
Yay, 10 or higher. That is only 5 points of damage.
Okay. And what kind? Slashing.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't think I'm pulling out my short sword. That's not. She's a little too angry to think about would piercing do different than slashing. Katana's a bigger sword. All right, and then 25 on the second attack. So yeah. And 8 points of damage on that one.
Okay. All right. So same thing, like the cuts through it now because it's already hurt, like it's gonna like groan that terrible like guttural groaning sound of half abyssal, half just like vocalization from this like not super intelligent creature.
For Flair, I'm taunting it the entire time and insulting it because of course I am. So lots of insults being.
You have a lot of fodder with this thing. It is disgusting. Like frankly, yeah. If you're gonna lay some like schoolyard insults, this one it's not even hard. Great. So it's hurt. And did not enjoy that. But once again, the slashing is not doing as much damage as you would expect for the kinds of cuts that you're making, but it is hurting it. All right.
I got nothing. I'm a fighter. I just hit things. This is also why I never play
with
fighters.
Finesse and practice. Yeah.
So I'm just going to throw this out. Given that Vidania is taunting it, can my next shot at it count as a sneak attack since she has its attention?
And the amount of damage that Timsa said, I would imagine, like it's got two things in its melee space that did, So yeah, I'm good with that. Distracted? Yeah, probably.
Flanking.
All right. That is a 19 to hit.
Yeah, that'll hit.
Awesome. All right, so that is a lot of dice to roll. Okay. That is
Huh.
5d6 total.
The pitter patter of damage.
That is could have been a lot more, but that is 24 points of piercing damage from an arrow.
All right. Cool. All right. So we know how.
Could have been more, huh?
Could not have been more. Could have been up to 28 in total.
Sneak,
Yeah. 24. What do we keep you around for? God.
sneak attack damage stacks up
It
real
does.
fast.
Yeah.
All right. So after these, like this arrow that it was not expecting, because it's not even bothering to, like, pay attention to what's going on in the second room, because of like how much attention it's had to pay to these flashes around it. Just manages to hit, like, embeds in the neck. All right. And like that, the like drooping skin of this, like it actually can tell that it hits like muscle rather than just simply flesh, and it is not not in a good way at this point. Like you can tell that the hits are dragging on it. Yes. All right. It, however, is now both feeling desperate and mad.
A great combination.
It's a great, how some of us approach dating. It's fine. All right.
Too real. Too real.
Self-burn. We good.
Who will 2022 take a drink? Yeah.
All right. So it is going to decide that what it wants to do. Actually, it's going to do the same thing. It's going to try a bite and a claw, and it's going to hit each of you, Vidania and Timsa.
Do me.
One apiece. So let's. Last time we tried to bite Timsa, so this time it's going to try and claw you, just for variety's sake.
Do it.
I don't know if that one's going to hit, though. That's a 15.
Doesn't hit. Darn it.
Okay, so the claw attack is not going to hit you, and it's going to try and bite Vidania. Vidania does 19 will hit, I assume. Or sorry, not 19.
It
18.
will, but we're going to use that second chance feat once per combat, and this is this time to say, let's reroll that.
Okay.
Amazing.
That has really come in handy this time.
Okay, but it rolled better this time. So,
no.
22, I'm assuming, hits.
Yes, the answer is best I could do was make it re-roll. It didn't mean it was
that's
going to
fine.
Coming so handy this time.
Okay, so it is going to reach out to bite you with these like sharp, it's still humanoid teeth, but like they're narrower and crowded, and use those to latch on. We're gonna say it goes for like a bite in like the meat of your shoulder, and it is going to hit you for 14 piercing damage.
Okay.
And being hit by that, that didn't do much of anything though. It's going to reduce your ability to keep those like insults flowing is like diminished by just the tiniest little bit. Like you can, I don't know, like it just feels like it makes you a little bit more like tongue-tied experiencing this like decay hit your skin. But like, yeah. So I say like a factor of 1 reduces your charisma right now.
Oh, my charisma. Okay, so I only have +3 in that now.
Yeah, so will totally make a difference. That could have been better, but it rolled real bad. So there we go. All right, Vera, this badly damaged demon did not manage to hit Timsa at all, and like just landed a like needly bite into the shoulder of the dog.
So we're back to me.
Back to you.
I'm gonna throw another thunderbolt, thunder chromatic orb at it because it really got its attention last time. 14 plus 8, 22.
22 will hit.
All right.
Do good damage. Take it down.
3D8.
You can do this.
I only did a level 1 this time, so 3d8.
Okay.
3, 7, 10. thunder damage.
10 total?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's like the concussive hit of it definitely shakes its bones in the, like, it has a stagger backward from Vidania into that space. It's not down, but dang, does that look like it, like, nearly buckled its terrible
10 on
fortune.
3d8 was not great. It's
All right, Timsa. It is on its last legs.
This is an alley-oop. I've knocked him into the ropes for
Yeah.
you.
It's like, is it really so hard for you to hit me? Here, watch me. And just gonna wail on him. He went to all the trouble of casting Armor of Agathis on himself.
And he just hasn't even gotten hit.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
It just has not been.
Well, I gave it disadvantage on the first one, so
It's
you're
true.
welcome.
Yeah.
Right.
It would have hit you otherwise, actually.
First,
Yeah, it's true.
first hit is a 24.
24 hits. Yep.
Okay. So that one is going to be 15 magical slashing plus 3 fire.
Yeah, it's going down.
Cool.
Yep.
All right.
All right. So
Like that.
All right.
And
So you're
this
like
is why I
half
keep
moon
you all around.
scimitar, and that little extra of this like spark of fire and disgusting burn of just like rends the like separates the rib cage on both sides, and the thing just collapses into this like bone and also just sort of oozy flesh pile. Like, ugh. You know, like that was how that demon was going to go down, but God, gross. Don't we have someone around here to pick that up? You pay people for this.
Yeah.
Like dustpan, right? Like that'll do it. Yeah, so it dies. It goes down. Dead in a little pile of gross flesh. Woo. All right. So the room that you were in, that through that ward of 6, and all of you stepping through, once again, like that sense of like greed being a motivator doesn't strike you as something that would prevent you from going through if you get close enough to sort of test it. Some of you went around the other way, so it doesn't matter. There is an actual door separating 4 and 5. If you decided that you wanted to check out what was headed in that way, but that's entirely up to you.
We were heading in the direction of 8, correct?
We
Yeah,
were.
that's where, like you said, you were going.
Although I thought 6 from that archway might have had the stairs.
No, 6 does not. So 6
Okay.
is obvious, like has a, like, for lack of better term, like this is like a reception area. It's still got some beautiful like mosaic that you know is behind the like dustiness and without like a really color vision, because at this point like there is no light that's reaching you from the outside. So if you didn't light a torch or anything, which nobody has said that they've done,
I have a.
you got the goggles on. Yeah, like why would you need?
I have a cantrip for the floating lights, but it doesn't seem like we've needed it.
Actually, no, you had a little bit of a source of light because you had Timsa's lights that lit up both him and Vidania.
That's
So,
true.
I take it back. You did have a little bit of a source of light. So this mosaic in this little tiny chamber, which has a, oh god, I'm going to forget the name of them. The Greek seats that are, it's like a little like bucket with a scroll bit.
Amphitheater?
Not
No?
The chairs.
not like, yeah, the chair thing.
Oh, I see.
Piece of furniture. Yes. Like it has one of those that is done in what looks like some kind of stone that's been inlaid with little pieces of shell and like colored stone. It doesn't look like sapphire necessarily, but it looks like it might be like turquoise. In like beautiful carvings into the wood, and that there's a like it's not in the greatest of condition, a very like dusty old what would have been like velvety cushion in the middle of that, almost like this is like a single throne there, and the mosaic up around it is done in these tiny tiles of beautifully polished colored glass, and then some of them look like they've been leafed in gold and silver, and it's just this like gorgeous geometric pattern going up all the way up to the very, very top, and it's a higher ceiling. This one's up maybe like 15 feet before it hits like a design of the sunshine, like sun coming up in the middle. It's gorgeous. Like would be nearly impossible to see without light, but through that like shining frill, you're able to see what this little reception area looks like almost like you'd be greeted by someone if you made it through the colonnade.
It's moments
And
like these.
Dragon.
it's beautiful, like
It's
wonderfully, like ornately done, like would have to have been like, you know, artisan crafted. And back here, the like mosaic tiles have not been, none of them have been like pried loose or anything. Like it's in, looks like pretty good condition, just because it probably hasn't been, you know, part of what too many people have made it to or past. The direction towards your east has this like hallway with what looks like that beautiful black and white marble on the floor. Some of those are like cracked with, and then there's another door that goes off towards where 7 and 8 are, and there is a stone door off towards where 4 and 5 are as well. You are welcome to do some perception-y bits or just head down one direction.
First confirming there was no loot from
Okay.
disgusting demon.
Thank you. Yes, actually. So underneath the thing, there we go. So underneath the, God, I know the name of the stupid chair thing. All right, somebody in the chat that is also like history nerd bits. What do we call that stupid Greek chair? All right. Okay, I'm gonna remember it later, and it's gonna drive me up the wall. Underneath this chair bit, because it's like two intersecting pieces of like, it's like a frame of two what ends up being rectangles. They just like cross like, and anyway, there's another little carnelian bowl, and then two more of the like quartzy amethysty goats underneath. Like it looks like you know, either they've been knocked out of the way or just underneath the chair. Same thing, like have that like heft and weight to them, made out of like semi-precious stone bit. And like, there you go. Like we've seen these before. That's one more of the bull and two more of the goats.
mm-hmm.
At this point, I feel like, just for randomness sake, when I pick up one of the goats, I'm going to pet the thing like it's actually a pet, just for amusement. If it ends up doing something, awesome. Otherwise, it's just the, oh, look, it's another goat. It's so cute.
Okay, I'm not thinking of Clismos, but thank you for giving me that one. Like the, and what was it? Dante chair is closer. It's just the bottom though, just the seat. There's no back. Butt cuddles. Thank you. Butt cuddles.
They match the corpse cubbies.
Yeah, it's that is what we have done. Yay.
So if I get the other bowl and the other bowl and the bowl, do they make a little set together?
I don't. Okay, I don't know that.
We are
one.
totally assembling a menagerie.
Okay, I believe, yeah. But okay, butt cubbies. Yes. All right.
Yeah.
Great. So you have now a whole collection of these little figures that you've like gathered, and some of them are repeats. They're, you know, not perfectly exact copies. Obviously, the stone is different, but it's carved out of the same material of stone, and they all feel like the same. Like the two goats feel like they weigh the same, but they don't weigh the same as the bull.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yes. Okay. So you can do, as I said, some like perception as to what would be in one direction or another, or just head along into 7.
Dorothy, are you good to keep going? I know that you had said you didn't want to go much farther after that fight.
You know, we might have to sacrifice me to the gods.
That's fair.
That might be where we're at.
Yeah.
All right.
We went later than intended.
All right. So then go ahead and push on through 7. Okay, because the like amphitheater portion of 7 has some things in it, but it doesn't have stuff in it.
Okay. All right.
We were going towards 8.
Cool.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah. Okay. So we can do that.
Yep.
7 has some like loot and provisions in it. So I'm happy to tell you what kinds of loot is in there. There's some precious stones for one thing in this. There's some onyx. There's a diamond. A couple of pearls, like really, like honkin' beautiful, like saltwater pearls. There's a cloak of the manta ray in that one. as well. And there's this rod that does look like it might actually do something. If you were to say, like, pick it up and put it in a specific place.
Name of my sex tape, yes.
Looks like it might do something if you pick it up and put it in a specific place.
Oh my!
Everyone. Yeah, and that phrasing, that was just, yeah, okay.
That was a very subtle entendre there. Yes.
There's a handful of coins. It's all gold and silver. Not a ton here, but same thing. It's about like 70 silver pieces and about 60 gold pieces, which is, like, would be delightful if you found it on the street or in your couch. But like, given that you're in a former dragon lair, it's kind of like, okay, just like a pile. Yeah. But there's also 2 cuts of jet. So some nice sparkly bits there. So if anyone wants the cloak, etc. But other than that, 7 just sort of looks like it, like, same thing, like this might have had some purpose in the past. You see another, like, rod hanging like this might have had at some point curtains or fabric, maybe tapestry, but it's not in there now. And it opens up to 8, which has a little altar on a dais. The dais is carved out of that beautiful black, like, and white marble. And the stone little altar has on the very, very top of it a set of gold balance scales. And it looks like they're actually formed into a plinth of gold set into the top of the stone of the altar.
It's a weight puzzle. All these things we've collected.
You have to do algebra now.
Not my character, though I am curious what this cloak is. My character's obsessed with items of power to help fight demons, and well, my sword's doing a good enough job today, apparently, but...
All right, looking around, are there any clues to what we need to put in these things?
It's a balance scale.
I mean, so if I put a red bowl on each side, it balances. Should we just mess with this thing and see what happens, or
sure?
Yeah.
Do we want to look around?
To be clear, and I want to be what you guys have collected so far. You have 1 of each color at least.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So you have 2 of the Red Bulls.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes.
You
They
have.
give us wings.
You have
1
3
Red Bull,
of the little purple goats.
Yep.
You have 1 of the rams and 1 of the camels. If I have done my counting correctly. Those are the ones you found.
And the bull.
You have 2 of the bulls.
You have 2 of the bulls. Oh, okay.
And some bowls. Bulls and bowls.
2 of the bulls, 2 of the bulls, yes. Mm-hmm. All right, looking around, are there any instructions? Are there any holy words?
Nope.
That might be in another room.
Well, I'm assuming that we're going to have to make the weights even, so I assume the first thing would be to figure out which of these is the heaviest.
It's the red ones. The red ones are the heaviest, I believe, that we found.
I don't know if I said that, but they are heavier than the ram and the goat.
Well, if nothing else, we have a means to measure this objectively now.
Uh-huh.
So just doing some quick trials. What would be the ranking of these heaviest to lightest?
Sure. The camel is the heaviest. Then the bull. Then the ram. Then the goat.
What color is the camel?
Camel is blue.
Blue. Okay. And the 2 bulls are the same as the bull?
Huh?
You said we had two bulls that two.
No, sorry, 2 bulls.
Okay.
Okay. I thought
2
those were
carnelian statuettes, bulls,
separate. Okay.
male cows.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm so sorry. Give me the full list of our statues again.
You have 1 blue camel. You have 3 green, or no, I'm sorry, you have 3 purple goats.
Mhm.
You have 1 green ram and 2 red male cows.
Right. Okay. Cool. And so, what was the ranking of the heaviest to lightest?
The camel is the heaviest. The bull is the second heaviest. Then the ram. Then the goats.
Cool. All right. So,
Do we try 1 camel, 1 goat, 1 on one side, 1 bull, 1 ram on the other? It seemed like it's too obvious, but
well. I mean, we have an odd number of goats is the issue, and I'm assuming we're going to have to figure out how
we
to
have
make
not explored
scales.
all the rooms yet. We
I mean,
cannot
go for
assume
it.
that these are all the pieces.
Well, unfortunately, I don't know how much more Timsa has in him after this room, so
Nope. I'm just not assuming we have all the pieces of this puzzle yet, unless we literally just had to get 1 of each, and it's going to be solvable with 1 of each. Assuming we even have all of them, we don't know.
I mean, do we want to play around with the scales now? Is the question.
that's
Do we want to just fuck around with the different weights and see what happens?
All right. Well, we're not going to be able to make it even because that comes out to an odd.
We absolutely can. We put a Red Bull on each side. That's even.
All right. Yeah. Well, yeah.
We fuck around and we find out.
I say we try it.
Okay, go for it.
Let's play around with some weights.
Okay, if you put 2 bulls on either side, it will make a musical tone, almost like if you had hit like a handbell or something. It's a pleasant sound, but it doesn't do anything other than make the tone.
Okay.
Put a ram on one side and 2 goats on another, in addition to the bulls.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That one makes another tone, not the same as the first, but this one is like lower and a little bit more discordant. Doesn't do anything
balanced?
Either, but
yes, that should stay balanced.
No, we don't know yet whether the weight portions are identically proportionate down. We don't know that they're each half of the next.
Yeah.
I'm okay. All right. Well, then that's it. That's all I got.
We got to get this camel in there some way.
All right.
So if we do the camel, and what was the lightest one?
The lightest one is the goat.
So a camel and a goat, and on the other side was
bull and ram.
A bull and ram.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hey, the thing I suggested originally.
The ranking of how heavy they are, like the ordinal scale of how they are, it doesn't like Tammy's right. It's not necessarily meaning that 1 is 1, 1 is 2, 1 is 3, 1 is 4.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. All right.
Yeah.
Heavy is
but
not.
However,
heavy.
This will tell us.
Yeah. How does it feel about that?
And I'm sorry. Tell me again what you're doing.
A camel and a goat, and a bull and a ram.
Yeah, camel goat one side, bull ram on the other.
Yeah.
Which side goes down?
So that one goes like this. The camel and the goat goes down, and the bull and the ram goes up.
Remove the goat. What's it do?
Removing the goat from it still puts the camel down. It moves a little bit
to the other side.
That one goes and makes several tones, and the light around the scale, one light emits around the scale in this blue green sort of pulse outward. So you've got this nexus of a circle around where the scale is on the pedestal, and then the light kind of almost as if it had form and liquid cascades down the sides of the pedestal. If you are not touching the scale. That is all that it does at the moment. But it makes almost like a musical chord, and it's pleasant sounding now, and has lights coming out, or light coming out. Yep.
Now this is above my pay grade. This looks magic. That's not my thing. Somebody else.
What do we have left that we haven't put on the scale?
It's balanced and it's making things happen right now.
Maybe we just need to touch it.
Yeah.
I step back.
Walk forward. Put your hand on the scale.
Do you do that?
Sure.
Okay. So from
Seems
the
like
rest
a
of your
very
vantage
concrete-
point, Vera goes away.
Dorothy's going to touch it as well.
I was gonna say, you're used to seeing this with Vera. It's totally normal.
As the two of them touch it, then, and both like pop away, the light begins to pulse a little bit. So still doing that like cascading blue green, like almost like shower of little sparks, like little fireflies caught in this stream of light coming down. But it does begin to make some like murmur with the that's
I
technical.
look over. Fuck it. We should follow, right? I think they're helpless without us, aren't they? We've taken all their hits, I can say it.
Not wrong.
I reach up and I also touch it. Let's go.
Okay. You also pop out of existence then from the vantage point of Tensa.
Okay, all right. I guess if we're all touching it, I will touch it.
Great. Fantastic. So you all find yourselves, like, not violently, but like set with, like, almost as if someone had like grabbed you by the waist and just plopped you down, standing on what is now new marble, with some oil lanterns lighting up a little hallway that's straight ahead from you. Like, your sense of direction is a little bit strange. But there's a long hallway in front of you lit with these, what looks like oil lamps, and a staircase that descends. To your right, there's a, like, hallway goes off, and there is a stone door with a, like, beautiful arched design over top of it. And to your left, same thing, but a slightly longer corridor headed to a stone door. That same thing has, like, draconic runes and a design and archway over top of it. You got down to the second level of the dungeon.
Yay!
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 Yeah, just
all right,
fucking
ladies and
rip it,
gentlemen,
rip
we
it,
have gone
baby.
over.
Slop that
but
down, dude.
successfully,
Yeah, dude.
Griffin and Ripper,
Crack
nice
one
job.
for the
Thank
kids.
you.
Ah.
Appreciate the donation. Awesome. Thank you for giving to children's hospitals, because, yeah, for the kids. We survived. Not a single one of them died, so I clearly did my job terribly.
Yeah, you're the worst at this. God.
Through a series of demonic encounters and other fun undead loveliness, because obviously the first layer of catacombs that is still actively being used as catacombs is going to attract some of, undeady grossness. So we've made it through the first level. They solved an algebra puzzle. Nice job, guys. And got down with this portal into the second. They've been, at least the ones of them that went through the door, deemed worthy enough that they were of service to the city and could continue. And could start the second layer of the dungeon if we were not at not only time but also extended time given. So I think means we're going to call it for the night, but Major
Another time.
Major stuck with me through this. There's 3 layers of this dungeon. I might have overprepared. It's fine. We could totally do that in the space of one session. I don't know.
Yeah. No, this is great. This is fun.
So hopefully you had fun watching, or at the very least enjoyed that there were enough disgusting things and then things that we didn't remember the actual name for, so had to come up with some of our own. Thank you very much.
Bones, snake bones.
Yes, and we were so, this was our wheelhouse, man. I now know way too many things about ossuaries. including that it's not an ossuary, it's an ossuary. So yeah.
Or enough things.
Or yes, just the precise perfect amount of. Thank you so much for coming along with us for tonight and in general tabletop appreciation and helping out with Extra Life. It's been wonderful to be able to host this tonight. I had so much fun with this group. Oh my god, you guys, thank you. And I hope that you enjoyed watching it. If you would, subscribe to us, that's great, but also consider maybe if you enjoyed it, just throwing a donation at Extra Life, even if it's just a couple of dollars. It goes to the greatest of causes.
Even a few dollars helps. They really need it, and this is the weekend.
And it does, it's such a thing now. Extra Life has a broad reach, and the more people that participate, just the better and better it can possibly get.
Also, I will have to...
Inspired by a Victoria, just saying.
I have to give a shout out that I'm really happy that Live from the Apocalypse's name on the Extra Life server is Leaf from the Apocalypse. So, love it. As the team captain, I absolutely love that.
So
I'm also going to say I think it's also really great that so just kicking this off this weekend. We'll obviously be doing more Extra Life stuff, especially as the Extra Life weekend comes up. I think it's November. Is that right?
November 5th, I believe, the official weekend.
Yeah, but so kicking off this year's round of Extra Life drive for Life in the Apocalypse, I am very pleased to say that so we have clearly at this point already raised over 10% of our goal in this first sprint, and I think that is really awesome, especially for all of you guys who have either stuck with us throughout the whole thing, or even if you were only able to tune in spurts. That is really awesome. So thank you guys so much.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Consider joining us on our Discord or any of the other social media stuff. But the Discord, obviously, you want to see pictures of the cat that walked through and the tail that went by, but what they actually look exactly. You could have more of that, not just cats. If that's not your speed, but what's wrong with you if it's not. And we'd be happy to have you. There's also stuff always running if you want to play or participate in a weekend like this, even if you're not a streaming person. We'd love to have you come along, join the cause, hang out. Yes. Snaps to Cast for joining, and Patience for going super extra time, and Brendan for running the overlay that allows us to actually see stuff that's going on. Yay!
Thank you so much.
And sticking through the whole day. Holy crap!
I feel like Malchus deserves the 95% of the thanks. To be perfectly frank.
We'll do snaps for both of you.
Okay. The only thing that I contributed to this entire thing was stamina.
That's something.
Which is fair.
That's something.
That's for something. You did not run out of your stamina bar. He did not use his today, so you get credit.
Oh, he definitely did. But we appreciate it. I hope you had fun watching this part. Will I be able to convince these people to run more of this? I don't know. We'll find out. Thank you. Have a wonderful evening, everybody. It's so nice to be on. Did I miss anything that we need to announce, or does someone have something they want to bring up before I forget?
Grand total of $200, $210 raised today for the kids. Hell yeah.
Indeed.
And Extra Life sent me an email saying I'm not allowed to say for the kids anymore because somebody copyrighted it, and I don't care. I've been saying it for 8 years.
Of all of the selfish and
right.
I hope you choke on that person.
And I guess next thing is that it just in case you've been with us for the last 12 hours and have somehow succeeded in not having had enough of us, we will be back here tomorrow evening for Academy H, our teen superhero melodrama, where we will be raising money for our other main fundraising campaign, which is we just switched over recently to the International Rescue Foundation. So hopefully some of y'all who are tuned in here, we will see you then. But if you can't catch it then, or you want to get caught up on all the episodes before you tune in, it's also a podcast available on all of your major podcatchers at Live from the Apocalypse. Because You know
We
that's
are
the humor you get
clearly
here. If
those
you've been
people.
here for the last 12 hours, you know exactly
You knew
what
what's
you're
going-
getting into.
You know this audience, yeah.
And there's
also-
bones. There's bones if you join us for Academy H.
yes.
More bones.
More
Also,
bones.
tomorrow to continue Extra Life Weekend at 2 p.m. I'm doing something on my Twitch channel, Chris Irish. We're running the Fallout tabletop game, which we started when this game wasn't released yet, but now it's out to the public and we're still going. So if you were curious about what a Fallout tabletop game would look like, we have an entire team who are all ghouls. So we are the Ghoul Squad, and it's great.
Nice.
Be a lot cooler if you did.
Yeah.
And on that note,
No, that's where we're going to close it. That's the closing note, yeah.
So nice
All
playing
right.
with you.
Thank you, everybody.
Night.
Thank you, Cleveland. Good night. Good night, everybody.